sky's the limit till you hit it like King Griffey to the fences. Out of there, out the park, hit and run, that's my drive. It's a vibe, been that way all my life, yeah. I shut it down when I shine with the crew. Yeah, I ride with the crew, gave my life to the crew. Testify, walking water like the son of man, understand I'll never drown. Take a hit, never quit, might be down but never out. There, and the train's off the rail, through the pain we prevail. Tell them you just gotta live.
Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. I've been down this road before, now I know which way to go. You can try to drag me down, but I'll be living in the clouds. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live. You just gotta live. You just gotta live. Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. Just gotta live. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live.
Living till there's nothing left. Lean on. We need you like there's no one else. Ain't nobody out here more like you. And with you that broke the mold, and ain't no more like you. That's for sure. I can't drop out like the top down on the coat. Tell them watch out when I walk, I make a move. Sunday morning with my hands up, like they got the handcuffs. Searching for some answers since mama passed the cancer. And my sister left Seattle with a one-way ticket home. Hope she hold the chase and teaching him to speak some more. I know, gotta keep it going. Yeah, that's all it told me. Tell them you can make it when you know the one and only.
Burning right beyond the fire. You were born to win, yeah, you're a fighter. Don't let your light just fade away. You just gotta live.
You just gotta live. You just gotta live.
You just gotta live.
You just gotta
I
live.
just wanna live.
He wants you to live.
You just gotta live. Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live. Yeah. I just wanna live.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
I suppose we should get going.
Let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guys, we made it to Friday. Welcome to it, everybody. Dex and Steve-O, live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Good morning.
Oh, hi.
What's going on? Man, August, almost out of here. Fall, I can already smell it, man.
Gosh.
I swear, when I look at the trees, I can see them turning.
I can only imagine
No, don't do that to me. Do not do that.
what it would be like.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
yep, me too. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. You guys can watch the show and hang out with us at Star 88 FM. And thanks for joining us, guys. We got a huge show for you.
Heck yeah, bro.
Let's jump right in, shall
Oh,
we?
okay.
Criminal activity. Gosh, man. Criminals. Ugh. Seriously? Yesterday we shared a story, a real life story about criminals here at Calvary breaking into cars, stealing cars. Oh, we're going to catch you. I got to file a police report. Remind me to
I
do
know
that.
you're listening, criminal.
I know you're listening.
In the stolen vehicles that you're taking.
That's right. Yeah, get this. Come to find out, so Edna went to the shop.
Yeah. Your car.
She's a 1999 Chevy Lumina. She's old. She's beautiful. she's in the shop getting some maintenance because guess what? Those thieves stole my catalytic converter. Yeah, remember I shared the story yesterday how I got in the car and then I, it started it
Sound
up.
like a
and
motorcycle.
seriously. Whoa, Edna. What happened? You got some indigestion? What's going on?
Yeah.
It sounded like a giant monster truck.
It really did.
Yeah, she's a precious little car.
Yep.
Yeah. So get a call from one of the mechanics at the body shop. Yeah, somebody sawed off the catalytic converter out of your car.
Sawed off the catalytic converter.
Yeah, they just sawed it off. They sawed it off? Yeah. So, yeah, I Googled that. I found an article back in 2016. Thieves are stealing catalytic converters out of the cars for their precious metals. That's why they do it. Apparently, there are platinum. There's silver in them. There's a bunch of different precious metals in them, and they can get as much as $640 on the black market. I was talking to my mom yesterday. They own a junkyard, and they crush every once in a while. And before they crush the cars, they'll go to each car, and they'll saw out the catalytic converter because they'll make a bunch of money off of them.
My least favorite part was when the police, and yes, criminal, I hope you're listening
You're
to our show
listening.
because it's the
Find you.
bestest morning show in town. He said, hey, Steve-O, I just want you to know, man, they were tooling around underneath your car too, so you might
Oh,
want to check and see
gosh.
if anything's taken. And I said, well, my car's like 48 hours old, so I will lose some stuff if anything happened to old Jean Grey.
I hope she goes to jail.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Pray that the criminals would be caught
Yeah.
and that
Justice
their lives
would
would
be
be
swift.
changed. I hope that they're, listen, these are people
Yeah.
that we talk about. We've talked about this before with feeding them kids.
Yeah, man, bring it home. Because in my opinion, when I thought about it, I was like, I hope they left a wrench in a car somewhere, and then they went to go get it, and a buddy turned around, and they accidentally fell into the back of the trunk, and the trunk closed, and they didn't know that the thief was in there. And then after they had pulled out the catalytic converter, they just took it to the junkyard to smash it because it was a stolen vehicle, and they didn't want anything bad to happen.
Oh.
And so then as they're squishing it, it's like when
Oh
you
my
squish a
gosh.
peanut butter and jelly
No,
sandwich.
oh,
All of a
gross.
sudden the jelly just shoots
Oh
out
my
of
gosh.
the back, and they're like,
What?
oh my gosh.
This is a family show.
Rodrigo.
Okay.
And then,
What?
yeah. And then
Uh-huh.
it teaches everybody else that you shouldn't steal cars.
Well, okay.
You got to make
that's
an
quite
example
the
out of
PSA.
somebody.
That's quite the
You got to
PSA.
make an example out of somebody.
No, I wasn't going to go there,
Oh,
man.
okay. Bring it home. Bring it home, man.
I immediately thought of the children right now that
Yes. The children,
are
of course.
desperate
Of course, the children, yes.
and hungry. There's
Uh-huh.
thousands of kids that go hungry every day, and
yes,
they get
that's right.
desperate, and then they end up stealing food, and
Oh.
then it just snowballs from there.
It all-
the
bring
person,
peanut butter and jelly
the
sandwich.
person who stole my catalytic converter
Yes.
probably was one of the children.
Okay.
I'm serious, man. That's where it started. That's where it started.
That were hungry, that didn't have
Right.
food at
Started
night.
stealing.
And so then they started
Yep.
stealing catalytic converters to pay for their peanut butter and
That's
jelly
right.
obsession.
Yep.
Wow.
I guarantee it. Almost guarantee
Yours
it.
is probably better than mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think we need to dump that whole thing. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, guys.
Is this
Hi.
the criminal that stole my catalytic converter?
Yeah.
Hey, back in the day, they used to put your VIN number on the catalytic converter.
Oh.
They were doing that.
Huh.
So you might want to do that with the new one now.
Okay. Do I just saw it in somehow? Do I take like a razor blade? Do I take a Sharpie? Like, how do I get it on there?
Yeah.
Like, do I take a blowtorch?
I don't know. They were doing it in Santa Fe a while back. I don't remember. They were stealing a bunch of them. So
Oh.
Okay. Right on. Thanks, man.
look into it. So
All right.
have a good day.
I don't know. I think Edna's probably just going to have to go to the graveyard,
I know.
the junkyard. I don't know if she's worth a catalytic converter. I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm rolling in style again, guys. Got a sweet little rental car.
Yeah.
I hope she stays in the shop forever. Anyways, big show today. Coming up after 7 o'clock, we're going to be talking to Danny. There is some flooding going on in India, and it's tragic. It's awful. I mean, there's a lot of people that lost everything, and Danny's going to call in. Gospel for Asia. They do some amazing things around the world, and they're trying to do their part, and we can do our part as well. So we're going to get the information, details, how you guys can jump on board and help. And Sam Swan probably going to be in. I'm pretty sure he will be because he didn't come in last week. But we'll have the Swan coming in at 8. All right, let's talk about alcohol for a second.
Yeah, because it's probably what the criminals are on.
You know what?
They're on the sauce, guys.
Good call. Yeah, alcohol. It's I think we've been lied to about alcohol.
Oh,
you know?
We've most definitely been lied to about it.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second because, there's a new study that came out that is saying some things that, we thought, hey, alcohol, like that glass of wine at night, is it good for us? We're going to find out. But first, let me take you on a journey. Let's go to Scotland. This guy ended up having a little bit too much to drink, 26 years old. And I love that he took a cab home. Let's just praise him for that.
This is the highlight of the story.
Let me just say, please, do not drink and drive. There are so many options: cabs, Ubers, Lyfts. Come on, call a friend.
Yeah, that really shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Anymore. There's so many options for you.
Well, this 26-year-old man in Scotland, he had too much to drink, and he took a cab to his parents' house to sleep. House was unlocked, and then he just passed out on the couch.
Nice.
Well, apparently it wasn't his parents' house.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they moved out 2 years ago.
Oh, my.
And he had too much to drink, so he couldn't remember that his parents moved out 2 years ago. Well, here's fortunate for him. The people there at the house, they didn't call the cops. They found him on the couch sleeping. They took a picture of him. He looks so comfortable.
He does look so
comfortable. He looks a little
comfortable.
cold. I mean, they could have put a blanket on him.
Maybe, yeah.
But he's just snoring on the couch.
Yeah.
And, apparently they knew him, and so they ended up taking a picture, posting online, making fun of him, and then they took him home. They posted it on Facebook, and then they gave him a ride home. And then, he's a viral story. Yeah. With all that said, guys, please, any young people listening right now, alcohol is it can be a very dangerous thing. It really can be. And you just found a story this morning.
Yeah.
We've been thinking for years that maybe just a little bit of alcohol.
An occasional glass of wine or beer or whatever. And you've always seen these studies where it's like, did you know that a little bit of alcohol actually is good for you? And you'll hear people say this over and over. I've heard this 1,000 times. Actually wine is good for your heart and this and that and the other. Well, I've got some bad news for you, people. According to a major study on drinking in 195 nations.
Wow.
They went big on this one. They've been doing this for over a decade. 2.8 million premature deaths worldwide every year to booze. Quote, there is absolutely no safe level of alcohol consumption, end quote. That according to Max Griswold, the researcher at the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation in Seattle, Washington. He's the lead author for a consortium of more than 500 experts on this. Despite some studies that say light to moderate drinking reduces heart disease or whatever you want to put in there, a new study found that alcohol use is more likely than not to do lots of harm. The protective effects of alcohol are offset by the risks, according to this study, and overall the health risks associated with any alcohol, period whatsoever, rose in line with the amount consumed each day. So compared to, say, abstinence, even having one drink a day, 10 grams of alcohol, if you will, which is equivalent to a small beer or a glass of wine.
Okay.
Ups the odds of developing at least one of 24 health problems by about 0.5%. Yeah. It seems like a small increment. However, at a global level, the additional risk of 0.5% among once-a-day drinkers corresponds to about 100,000 additional deaths every single year.
Wow.
So they say less is better, none is best. The excess deaths could be avoided if you just abstain from alcohol. The crazy thing is the risk climbs in a steep curve. So it's like if you just have one, and then all of a sudden it's like if you have two, if you have three, and then it's just like this crazy J curve. An average of just 2 a day translates to a 7% hike in disease and injury compared to those who opted for abstinence. And with up to 5 units of alcohol per day, the likelihood of serious consequences jumps up by 37%.
Wow.
So they're saying none is best for the simple fact that even just one can cause havoc within your body. And when you have just one, not everybody can just have one. All of a sudden they're having 2 a day or they're having whatever.
Yeah.
And according to Britain's health authority, for example, they suggest not exceeding 14 drinks a week to keep your health risks lower. They did this in 195 countries. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. You know, because obviously it depends on, okay, well, how big is the one drink, the glass that you're drinking out of? What kind of drink is it? Is it hard alcohol? Is it beer? Is it wine? But they're just saying
anything.
None is better.
None is best.
Anything with alcohol in it.
Less is better, none is best is what they're saying, according to the World Health Organization. They said there's always a lag between the publication of new evidence and the modification and adoption of revised guidelines. And that, according to Gackaduo. Gackaduo?
That's his name?
Her name.
Her name is Gackaduo?
Who admitted to being an occasional drinker herself. She said the evidence shows what the evidence shows, and I, like 2.4 billion other people on the planet that consume alcohol, need to take this seriously. Overall drinking is the 7th leading risk factor for premature death and disease. The top killers: high blood pressure, smoking, low birth weight, premature delivery, high blood sugar, diabetes, obesity, pollution. However, in the 15 to 49 age bracket, alcohol emerged as the most lethal factor, responsible for more than 12% of deaths, especially among men.
Wow.
Yeah. Main cause of this: tuberculosis, road injuries, which we were just talking about, and self-harm, mainly suicide.
I hope she goes to jail.
Yeah, okay. Because, alcohol will lead you down. And it's a depressant. And so even just one a day, the effects on your body are crazy.
That's crazy.
Sorry, guys.
What about 1 Timothy 5:23? No longer drink only water, but use a little wine for the sake of your stomach and your frequent ailments.
Oh, you're going there.
How about that? Huh? How about that?
Thanks, Paul, to Timothy.
Huh?
Now, I will say, yeah, this study, of course, it's talking about a 0.5% increase. So you can take it with a grain of salt or a little wine.
What about Proverbs 31:6? Give strong drink to the one who is perishing.
To the one who is perishing.
And wine to those in bitter distress.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
How about Psalms 104, verse 15? And wine to the gladden the heart of man.
Oh, to the gladden.
Oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen a man's heart.
Isn't that an interesting verse, though, to be honest? Psalm 104 was always one that I found very interesting because it's David praising the Lord. Praise the Lord, my soul. Lord, my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendor and majesty. The Lord wraps himself in light as a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent. He makes the clouds his chariot and rides on the wings of winds. He makes winds his messengers, flames of fire of his servants. Like it's like all these amazing attributes of the Lord. And it's all of the incredible things he made. Verse 5 talks about the earth and its foundations and the waters, and then its springs pour water into the ravines. They give water to all the beasts. The birds of the sky nest by the waters, all these great things. He makes grass grow for the cattle. He makes the plants for the people, bringing forth food from the earth, and the wine that gladdens the heart of man, and oil to make the face shine. So it's like all these things that are great that God made, and one of those is wine. And people are like, wow, it was different back then. It was so different, guys.
You guys can chime in 505-338-3700. Thank you so much for holding.
Thanks. I got two things. So the first is about this alcohol. It's fascinating how little we actually know about like the body and biology and reality, that things that we're just finding out now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but, in 5 years, we're going to get another study that comes out
also
saying, you know what? Hey, alcohol is fine for
as long as you have 7 ounces or less. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said about the diet stuff, right? Sugars in, sugars out. Carbs are in, carbs are out.
Right.
Yeah, did you guys hear about
totally true.
The coconut
Totally
oil?
True.
This professor from Harvard recently came out, and he's like, hey, coconut oil is a poison.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
But he's like,
it's like everybody is on that coconut oil tip right now.
Yeah. And so I don't know. It's one guy, so I don't know if I can back that up, but.
You said a couple things. What else you got?
Yeah. Well, I'll try and derail you here.
Okay.
You guys need a third person on your show, but all they would do is run security out in the parking lot.
Yes.
And if anything happened, they'd call in and could use play-by-play of the chase.
I like that.
Star me if there's anybody out there that wants to volunteer.
Wants to run security,
hang
walk
out.
around our cars. Just our cars, not the rest of the parking lot.
We could probably
they got that covered.
We could give you some Samson DVDs if we ever get another shipment.
There you go. I like that. Perfect.
Hey, thanks, man. Good stuff.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
sounds good, guys.
See you, man. All right, guys, be careful today. Be careful. It's National Waffle Day. We got some really cool stuff on waffles coming up. Enjoy me a good waffle.
Speaking of enjoying things, somebody says, why drink it all? I never understood. Why drink something that requires an acquired taste to enjoy it? It's interesting.
It is.
I don't know that everybody feels that way. An acquired taste?
Well, that's kind of something,
Right.
I don't know. For me, I've never been a wine drinker at all.
Yeah,
I don't like the taste, but they say the more and more you drink it, you get that acquired taste.
No,
or
that's
it's same
because
with
you're drunk.
beer.
Yeah, no, that's because you're drunk.
Maybe that's what it is.
Somebody else said, man, all this talking about dying is stressing me out. I need a drink. Okay.
Yep. All right, big show today, guys. Big show. 505-338-3700 if you'd like to call into the show. We also have a live line you can text in. What's that number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483. Everybody's trying to guess what my shirt is, and you're all wrong. Everybody is wrong.
Oh, what is that? Don't say it.
I'm not saying. There have been multiple guesses on my shirt this morning, and they are all wrong. Paul and Gentry.
Oh. All right. I can see it. I just can't picture where it's
Bill
from.
Peterson got me this for my birthday. It's kind of a tradition.
All right. Yeah, you can check out Steve-O's shirt right now. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88 FM. We're going to take a quick break. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
CareNet Pregnancy Centers offer hope and help to men and women with pregnancy-related concerns, offering a range of free services that affirm and prepare men and women to value themselves and their unborn children. The 2018 Walk for Life is scheduled for Saturday, August 25th at various locations around the Albuquerque metro area, including the East Mountains, Northeast Heights, Valencia County, and Rio Rancho. By getting pledges to support your walk, you will be helping to provide services to those in need of STD and pregnancy testing, ultrasound confirmation, and other resources including counseling and educational material. Encourage your friends to visit our website to view the full list of services that are available. The 2018 Walk for Life to support area CareNet Pregnancy Centers is happening Saturday, August 25th. For registration and information, go to carenetabq.org. That's carenetabq.org. Part of Mission New Mexico, sponsored by TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, KNKT 107.1 FM, and Star 88.
The Solar Flare with Matt Chandler. The universe shudders in horror. that we have this infinitely valuable, infinitely deep, infinitely rich, infinitely wise, infinitely loving God. And instead of pursuing Him with steadfast passion and enthralled fury, instead of loving Him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, instead of attributing to Him glory and honor and praise and power and wisdom and strength, we just try to take His toys and run. It is still idolatry to want God for His benefits, but not for Himself. That's a solar flare on Star 88.
predictable resistance. Mark it down on your calendar. Your enemy will resist what God leads you to do.
Need some divine direction? Here's Craig Rochelle on a Star 88 PowerPoint.
If you're not living with a little uncertainty every now and then, you are not living by faith. And if you're not living by faith, you cannot please God. All I know is I'm being compelled by the Spirit. Spirit's prompting, certain uncertainty, predictable resistance. The third part of God's process is what I call predictable resistance. Mark it down on your calendar. Your enemy will resist what God leads you to do. This is what Paul says. All I know is I'm being prompted. I don't know what's going to happen there. I only know that in every city, the Holy Spirit warns me that prison and hardships are facing me. Prison and hardships.
Now that's a PowerPoint with Craig Rochelle on Star 88.
Hey, what's going on in the news today?
The President of the United States arguing against his own impeachment.
If I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash.
Hurricane Lane now soaking the big island of Hawaii with more than a foot of rain.
Prominent Trump supporter whose company owns the National Enquirer was granted immunity for cooperating with investigators.
20-year-old Molly Tibbetts died from multiple sharp force injuries, according to Iowa State Medical Examiner. They ruled her death a homicide.
An Illinois mom is outraged after she let her child walk their dog alone around the block and found herself under investigation by Child Services.
California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife pleaded not guilty today to charges they used $250,000 in campaign funds for personal expenses.
Ed King of Leonard Skinner and Strawberry Alarm Clock has died. He was 68.
George Clooney is the highest paid actor of 2018. Forbes putting Clooney at the top of their list. His on and off screen earnings of $239 million.
Wow, man, that's a lot of money. Hey, coming up after 7, we're going to talk to Danny. Gospel for Asia.
He's the VP, bruh.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Gospel for Asia, they have been doing this for 40 years, almost 40 years, and they have provided humanitarian assistance, spiritual hope, millions of people across Asia. We're talking last year, this included help to set over 70,000 children. They helped them with free medical services in over 1,200 villages. And these are remote parts of the country. They've done 4,000 wells, 11,000 water filters installed, Christmas gifts. I mean, the list goes on and on. They do some incredible things. And we got an update for you coming up after 7 with Danny. Because there's some flooding going on, and so that means there's a lot of people that lost everything. Over 300 people have died, and we're talking. Think about it. As Americans, we have such an easy life compared to most of the rest of the world. I mean, we can walk to the supermarket and there's food. These are people that grow their own crops, and everything's been destroyed.
Yeah. More than 1 million people have been displaced. We're talking about our monsoon season here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking at photos of what's going on right now, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yep, we'll get you updated on that, how you guys can help out, because there's a lot of families out there. We're talking millions that have been displaced and have lost everything. And can you imagine being in that position with your family? Just all of a sudden, because of a natural disaster, you just lose everything. Can't even.
Dude, I'm looking at these photos and I'm just dumbfounded. Like, yeah, until the floods recede, like no one can return home. More than 1 million people displaced, living in camps now.
Yeah, man.
Just things we don't hear about or see.
Yeah.
Because,
gosh, we take things for granted. We take things for granted. It's insane.
Now, I will say efforts are being stepped up to get relief supplies to isolated areas, which is amazing. And another reason why we're talking to Danny coming up in the 7 o'clock hour to see how we, as Americans, can get involved. Because seriously, man, this is crazy.
It makes, my whole, a criminal stole my catalytic converter.
No, I still want to go outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still want to check my car. It's my car, bro.
It's my car, man. It's my car. You guys can chime in. Phone lines are open 505-338-3700. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88 FM.
That's right. Remember the Starmy chimed in on YouTube and said, "Hey, tried calling the number. Is the number the right number? It's the right number."
Yeah, call. Well, it's during a break. Sorry.
All right.
But you call now and we'll answer. Hey, and a big shout out to everybody that's been calling lately.
Yeah.
It's been a great week for callers, man.
Yeah.
So thank you. Call us. If you've never called the show before, we always ask you, just call us. You know what? Let's get to know you. Promise you. We're not, it's easy. And then you'll be more likely to call again and chime in. And the text line, the live line's great. We love that because more people chime in. But at the same time, since we've added the live line, we don't get very many phone calls. So shout out to everybody that's been calling in.
Yeah.
Especially you early birds out there. That's pretty cool.
Also, shout out to Nicole and Louie, who totally knew what my T-shirt was.
I can't think of it. Can't think of it. I don't know.
Your dad got me this for my birthday.
My dad, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
I'm calling in to crack dad jokes.
Oh, perfect. It is Fun Joke Friday, so I guess.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Oh, hey, Rickles. What are you doing?
There's a rumor on the streets that, I don't know if you know this, but if you remove the catalytic converters on your car, it actually makes it faster.
Oh, really?
I was wondering if you guys had any appointments open this morning for my Porsche to come in so we can get those bad boys off.
Yeah. You should let me borrow your Porsche.
Yeah. No, well, I'll bring it down there, and if they can remove the cat, I could probably get another 5 HP out of it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's funny because I just texted Ricky because he was I met him for lunch a couple days ago, right before the whole thing with my car happened.
Yeah.
So he texted me like, "What's up with your car?" So I just told him about the criminals that cut out my catalytic converter.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
On campus here at a church. This is
That's
holy
amazing.
ground, people.
Sounds like an inside job.
It kind of does.
Or maybe
Listen,
they saw
I
the way
needed
Dex
a new
drives, and they're like,
vehicle. Yeah.
poor guy needs some more power in that thing, and someone just hooked you up.
I don't know if it's giving me any more power.
No.
I don't know. When he first said, he's like, dude, listen to this car. It sounds like a monster truck.
It does.
It's an exhaust issue, buddy. It'll drive all right.
It does.
Yeah.
I was nervous about it. It actually took power away, man. Poor Edna. Poor Edna. She's not doing too well, man. I think she might have to put her
You gotta
down.
open her up, buddy. You got to get her up a little higher in RPMs to get that air out of there. You know, the cats are blocking it. So you got to just know how to drive her now. She drives different. You got to she's a little older. She's got some issues. Someone remove some of her pipes. You know what I mean?
Right? Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Well, what are they going to do? Put a new one in, or what are you going to do?
Well, you know what? Probably. I'm just made of so much money, so probably
all right.
just have them put a new one in and,
Yeah, well, we all know it's a lie. We know how you roll. You're going to just leave it like that.
You're probably right.
Everywhere you go, we're going to hear it coming down.
You'll hear me coming. At least you'll hear me coming. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Well, sorry about that. But just let me know what time you guys got an opening. I'll be down there.
You got
Perfect.
it, man.
All right, perfect.
See you, Rickles.
All right, well, guys, have a good day.
You
See
too.
man. All right. Richie Rick, everybody. Richie Rick. He's a good man. Tell you what, though. He drives a Porsche now.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
That car is ridiculous.
It is. It's too much.
It's too much?
No one needs that. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No one needs that, Rickles.
No, you need that.
No.
You need that.
Rickles does.
505-338-3700 if you'd like to chime in. It is National Waffle Day. All right. 80% of men or women said they love waffles. What do you think? 80% of men or women?
Both?
No.
No?
Who loves waffles more, men or women?
Gosh.
80%.
Why do we have to divide, man? We're trying to unite.
Who loves them
on the
more?
Morning Invasion. Who loves them more?
Who
Men.
loves them more? Men?
I have a waffle maker in my office.
No.
Really?
80% of women said they love waffles. 69% of men said they love waffles. 89% of seniors said they love them. 89% of seniors?
Heck yeah, man. When you don't have a whole lot of time
teeth,
left, you just want one of those
need something
toaster
soft.
oven waffles. Those
That's
aren't
true.
even real waffles. They're like cardboard waffles.
81% of Southerners said they love waffles.
Yeah.
That's compared to 78%
Why
of people
do you
in the
do
Midwest.
this before we eat breakfast?
He's so hungry.
I am so hungry. I love waffles. I'm staring at my waffle maker in the other room, but I don't have any batter. You are the worst right now.
They also found 7 in 10 people like the idea of chicken and waffles.
Yes.
Guys, I, for years, was like, that's so gross. I would never eat that. And, oh, my gosh, it's the
You
most
finally tried
magical
it.
combination.
It is. It's my favorite dish in the entire universe.
Yeah, only 30% said they don't like the combo.
It's the best.
It really is. So for National Waffle Day, have a waffle. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Welcome to Waffle Day.
Hey, so I just wanted to thank God for your guys' show. You know, I've been wanting to call in and just thank you guys. I was listening to other stations and I came across you at the beginning of this year, and you guys just kept putting a conviction on me, and I just kept like holding it off and holding it off. And one day I just decided to give into that conviction, and since the week before Father's Day, I've been going to church, and I just turned my life around. And without your show, I don't think I would have came to that realization.
Man.
And
that's incredible.
So,
hey, man, that was all the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That is all the Lord. I'm
Not
so
us,
thankful that He used our show. But was it the stupid jokes or the making fun of each other? Which one was it that got you to finally decide to go to church?
oh man, I'm not too sure.
See, it was the Holy Spirit.
It was all.
It
It was the Holy Spirit.
It was God.
We are the foolish things, man.
Yeah.
We are stupid people.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But
That's amazing.
I love your guys' show, and my kids love it. We listen to it every morning when I take
Wow.
them to their grandmothers, and you know, you guys do something that's good, and you know, you give people an option that don't want to listen to the other garbage that's out there.
Dang, dude. Thank you
And,
so much.
Yeah, that's
hey,
incredible.
and more importantly, thank you for responding to the prompting of the Holy Spirit. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And welcome to the family, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just wanted to call and personally thank you too.
dude, thank you. That means everything. What's your name?
My name's Ian.
Ian, welcome to the family, Ian. We love that.
Yeah, man.
So you continue to keep going to church, digging into the Word of God, praying with your family, and man, I can't wait to see what God does in your life.
Yeah,
That's
if you
really
ever
cool.
need us too, we're always here for you.
Yes,
you know
we
that,
are.
Right?
Yes, we are.
All right, man. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Have a
Appreciate
great
it.
day.
We'll see you, Ian.
All right.
You too.
Later, dude.
Bye.
That's it. See, gosh, that's crazy, right? It's so crazy. That's all God right there, guys.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
God.
seriously. Was
Oh,
it
God.
the
Yeah. Right? That's so cool.
Oh man, that's so dope.
All right. I think we should just shut this show
Call
down.
it a day.
Yeah, because it's
Call
not
it a
going to get
day.
better than that.
Because what else can we do today?
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking about waffles. And then Ian
But
calls
that
in.
okay, no.
It's like- Mm.
But here's the thing. That's it, man. Like seriously, I was talking to a good friend yesterday about this very thing because they were like, "What is it about your show that is different?" Because I can't stop listening to your stupid show and it makes me mad. And I'm like, I don't know, because we're just dudes. Like, and that's, I think sometimes it's okay to be like, hey man, like, I look at other things, and I don't ever want to disparage another ministry, and I never would. My mom loves and listens to other morning Christian radio, if you will. But I think there's something genuine about just being real and talking about life and culture, and people will see and know, and that tugging, that prompting, it's like, right on, man, because it's real. It's not just like, okay, and then coming up at 8:23, we got to make sure we say Jesus for 3 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do love that we have the freedom to talk about life and culture and everything going on in the world, and still dig in, speaking of the world, on what's going on in India coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, and then at the same time talk about how it's National Waffle Day.
Yeah, man.
Like, for real.
National Waffle Day.
So we have plenty of heavy. So it's always fun to just laugh. I love laughing with one of my best friends in the morning. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, I'm one of your
Like,
best friends.
Just one of like 17.
Am I a
you know?
basket friend?
You're like what is a basket friend?
So you have basket friends. Those
Oh,
are the
okay.
friends that are like your close friends.
Uh-huh.
If you're outside the basket, you don't want to be outside the
You're
basket.
in my basket.
Oh, that's cool.
No, you're in my basket. It's a very small basket.
That's cool.
I don't have a lot of friends.
I know. I was just thinking about the size of my basket, and I'm like, oh, I got you, and Ricky, and Buck, and Bill.
Did you just say you have Buck? You didn't even call him on his birthday.
That's true.
Yeah. When is his birthday again?
It's like
July
December
8th. Yeah, it's
24th.
July 8th. July
Day before
8th.
Christmas.
So
It is. 505-338-3700. Thank you, Ian, for calling in. That was cool. It made our day for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, please call in and you can share whatever you want. Maybe there's something you'd like to share, something's on your heart, or you just want to chime in on the show. We would love to hear from you. You can text in as well. If we have time, when Sam comes in, we got another letter. Somebody heard the show the other day. Was it yesterday we were talking about it was yesterday, the girl who went out on a date with the guy who couldn't parallel park?
Yep.
Somebody who was listening was like, okay, I got a good date story for you.
Oh, good.
So we got that coming up for you in the 8 o'clock hour.
Perfect.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
So I have a bad habit of hyper-focusing on, like, something that people say sometimes. And just a moment ago, you said, oh, now we got to say Jesus for 3 minutes. And in my brain, I was just like, so how does that work? Do you just, like, say Jesus for 3 minutes, but never the same way twice? Do you add context to it, or is it just like a song where it's just one word and that's it? Like fill me in here.
Listen, Drax.
I feel like that wouldn't be so uplifting. It would be a little. I think after like 10 seconds, everyone would be like, "Okay, that was enough. Calm down."
Hey,
let's
sir,
try that again.
saying the name of Jesus over and over is never enough. Boom. That is a Jesus juke.
That is a Jesus juke. Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's right.
You guys have a wonderful day.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
It's Mr. Literal. That's his name. Mr. Literal.
I feel like that would get just a little. But I am with him, especially, unfortunately, in church. I'm not going to name his name, Nate. When people pray, certain people pray, Lord God, Lord God, thank you, Lord God, for this day, Lord God, or whatever it is, and Jesus, Jesus, thank you so much, Jesus, for, and I'm like, oh man, and then I start counting in my brain, and I'm like, I'm not even here right now. I need why do we do that?
Yeah.
Is it just we get obsessive with certain things or certain words, and all of a sudden it's like, man,
I think it's you're
turning this into a not word.
I think it's one of those things when you're taught to pray at a young age, you hear the way your parents pray, and you hear other people at church pray, and so then you start to pray that way because that's how you were taught. So I don't think that cycle has ever been broken. You know what I'm saying?
How about this? I got a really good one. For the next 3 minutes, I'm going to give you all of the names and titles of Jesus.
Let's do it.
Is that good? Almighty One, Revelation 1:8. Alpha and Omega, Revelation 22:13. Advocate, 1 John 2:1. Author and perfecter of our faith, Hebrews 12:2. Authority, Matthew 28:18. Bread of life, John 6:35. Beloved Son of God, Matthew 3:17. Bridegroom, Matthew 9:15. Chief Cornerstone, Psalm 118:22. Deliverer, 1 Thessalonians 1:10. Faithful and true, Revelation 19:11. Good Shepherd, John 10:11.
Amen.
Great High Priest, Hebrews 4:14. Do I have to keep going up because my head will explode?
I think we hit our quota, bro.
Head of the church, Ephesians 1:22, Holy Servant, Acts 4:29 and 30. I am.
We just
John
hit Monday's quota.
8:58. Emmanuel, which means God
He's
with
going
us.
for
Isaiah
Tuesday.
7:14, indescribable.
He's going for
gift.
Tuesday's quota.
2 Corinthians
Oh,
9:15.
we hit it.
Judge, Acts
Wednesday's
10:42.
quota.
King of Kings, Revelation 17:14. Lamb of
man,
God.
we're taking care of next
John
week's quotas.
1:29. Light of the world.
Amen.
John
Amen.
8:12. Lion of the tribe of Judah. Revelation 5:5.
All right,
Lord
you're
of
done.
all. Philippians
We
2:9
took
to
care of
11.
next week.
Mediator,
We're done.
1 Timothy 2:5.
he's going. He's
Messiah,
just going.
John 1:41.
going
The
for it.
mighty one, Isaiah 60:16. Okay.
Guys, he just won't shut up. I'm just going to shut his mic off.
I mean, he wanted an illustration of what it would
We
look
don't have
like
to
if we
say-
actually went off on Jesus' name for 3 minutes.
We don't have to say any of that next week.
I just feel like that's a pretty dope example. Dude, but check it out, man. No joke about that. Like, the names and the titles of who Scripture says Christ is, I didn't even get like halfway through my list. And that was already like, dang, dude, that is our Savior.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoo! Like, fired up.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All
man.
right.
That's good.
Next week, the top 26 through 50 names of Jesus. Yay! The door.
The door?
Yeah, the door. John 10:9.
Ooh, the way. I am the door.
Right. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. Yeah. He really said that. I am the door.
I am the door.
Yeah. And then
True Vine.
Yeah. John 15:1. His name is Jesus.
Okay.
It's crazy.
All right.
That's a lot, man. That was pretty great.
That was great.
Now I just want to do a study on his name.
All right.
For 7 years.
Yeah, man.
Because you could. Man. So thank you, caller, for inspiring that one.
I don't even know where to go. I'm at a loss. We could talk about the newest viral challenge. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's called the Snoot Challenge.
Oh, great.
You need to do this with Rocket when you get home, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Snoot Challenge is the newest viral challenge. It's where you post a video of yourself making a circle with your hands.
Okay.
You make a circle. And your dog runs up and puts its nose through it. So you just hold it close down where your dog can get up to it, and he just runs his nose right into the hole. It's so cute. It's called the Snoot Challenge.
Like, what is it about this finger? Like, why?
Starmy, if you're at home, you're next to your dog, do the Snoot Challenge and send us a video.
Why do they do this?
I don't know, but they like to put their nose in the hole. It's so weird. They'll put it right in there.
I've been watching this video for like 2 minutes already.
They all run up and put their nose in.
They literally just run up.
I want to try it with Vader because he doesn't really have a nose. So I don't know how I want to do it with Vader, but
people are doing like the heart. There's like the circle.
They want to climb through the hole. It's like they want to just jump into the hole. Oh, my gosh. It's so funny. Just Google Snoot Challenge, guys.
We're going to do this. Hey, Dex.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
I had this sudden need to put my nose in the hole. It was the weirdest thing. Like, Steve-O put a hole up, and I just was like, okay. Just put it right in there. Let me try it. Look it.
No, man.
Okay. I must be part dog. Guys, do it with your dogs. Send us a video. 'Cause we want to laugh. And we'll do it over the weekend with our dogs and see what happens. The Snoot Challenge. Google it.
Dude, this is real.
All right, so we got to take a quick break. We're live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. When we come back, we're going to talk to Danny from Gospel for Asia. There's some things happening over in India, some flooding. Over 300 people have lost their lives, and there's millions of people that have been displaced, lost everything. It's crazy. So Danny's going to call in and give us an update on how you guys can jump on board and help out.
And speaking of things around the world, shout out to Jessica and prayers for her. She's here in Maui waiting for the hurricane to hit. She said, chiming in, thought I could use a few laughs and listen to you boys. But, yeah. She said it's very calm.
Is there another one coming? Because I thought oh, really? There's another one headed that way.
There we go.
Oh, all right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang out with us.
Tony Evans. This is a Star 88 Supernova.
I want to mine out the great truth of the 23rd Psalm. And the thesis of the psalm is very simple. If the Lord is your shepherd, he can meet all of your needs. That's all the psalm is saying. And what we're simply going to expose is that Psalm 23 addresses all of your needs. You see, he's going to tell you today that if the Lord is your shepherd, he will meet your spiritual needs because he'll restore your soul. If the Lord is your shepherd, he'll meet your directional needs because he'll lead you in the path that is right. He'll tell you that the Lord, if he's your shepherd, will meet your emotional needs, but you don't have to fear any need.
That was Pastor Tony Evans on a Star 88 Supernova.
Hey, are you stoked about the future? If you're not, maybe it's time for an attitude change. James McDonald has one coming your way, so listen up.
Let me just ask you, how often are you standing over milk that's been spilled, asking God to bring deliverance, and you haven't even done the things that God said to do yet. Come on, God, deliver me, deliver me. Did you do what God told you to do? But it's so hard right now. I need deliverance. Did you do what God told you to do? Because I think so often we're harsh in our assessment of what God has done when we haven't even done the thing that God has asked us to do.
You're listening to James McDonald and Listen Up. You can hear more from Pastor James and the series called I Am, Finding Your Identity in God at walkintheword.org. Listen Up is a production of Walk in the Word.
Star 88, real radio for real life on KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe.
Everybody needs love. They think they need money. Everybody wants time. They think it's a diamond. Oh, you never need likes to feel like somebody. And you never need hearts to live like a king. Oh, child, why you young? You gotta take your time. You gotta take your time. You gotta feel yourself in the moment. Feel yourself in the moment. Oh, child, why you young? You gotta take your time. You gotta take your time. You gotta feel yourself in the rhythm. 'Cause this world it's a broken love. It's a broken love. It's a broken love. It's a broken If you ever feel small or thinking nobody, you won't need to chase stars to have a reason to dance. So dance. Don't know the rivers down through the clouds, and any moment they'll be open just to pull you down. You gotta hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, child, why you young? You gotta take your time. You gotta take your time and feel yourself in the moment. Feel yourself in the moment. Oh, child, why you young? You gotta take your time. You gotta take your time and feel yourself in the rhythm. 'Cause this world it's a broken love. It's a broken love. It's a broken love. It's a broken Ooh, child, you were made to run wild. 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 I see you and me dancing on the street, running through the middle of this broken love. Just you and I, moving through the night, caught up in the middle of this broken love. I see you and me singing through the street, running through the middle of this broken love. Just you and I, flying through the night, caught up in the middle of this broken love.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
Just like the city lights. Just like the city lights. You're the brightest. You are lighting up the night. You're the wonder, bringing color to our lives. It's your love in us. Oh, it's your love in us. Oh, we're gonna burn bright like the city lights. We're gonna burn bright like we've come alive. We've come alive, and the world needs to know the hope that we hold. Love is breaking through the darkness. We're gonna burn bright like the city lights. Just like the city lights. Just like the city lights. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. We will never be the same, and our hearts cannot contain. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. We will never be the same, and our hearts cannot contain. Your love is a fire. Your love is a fire. We're gonna burn bright like the city lights. Just like the city lights. We're gonna burn bright like we've come alive. We've come alive, and the world needs to know the hope that we hold. Love is breaking through the darkness. We're gonna burn bright like the city lights. Just 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 like the city lights. The city lights. Like the city lights. Just like the city lights.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Friday. Welcome to TMI. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Shout out to everybody joining us on Facebook and YouTube Live. At Star 88 FM. You guys can hang out with us. Enjoy the show. We upload on YouTube and Facebook every day, so you can go back, get caught up. We're also available on iTunes, SoundCloud. If you've downloaded the Star 80 app to your phone, you can get us on demand. You can stream us live. So many different ways you guys can connect and be a part of the show. So thank you. Thank you all you podcasters out there. We love you. You guys can always chime in. You can always send in letters. You guys need prayer. You need help with anything. We are here. That's why we do what we do, man. Coming up here in just a few minutes, Danny from Gospel for Asia. Right now, so I said earlier there was over 300. Well, there's over 300. It's like over 400 now. Deaths.
Nearly 400 people have died.
Crazy.
And
This is in
million
India.
in camps. Thousands are stranded. It's the worst flooding in the Indian state of Kerala in a century.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Danny about how we can help, what we can do, because there are millions of people right now. Let's just think for a second, guys, okay? Because as Americans, it's kind of hard to wrap our heads around losing everything from a storm.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens in America. There's natural disasters that happen. And, I mean, look at Florida. You know, when hurricane season kicks off, look at Hawaii right now. Our friend Double J, he just posted a video of a guy on the beach, a police officer on a loudspeaker telling everybody, hey, go home. Don't be out here. The hurricane is a-coming. So, we, as Americans, some of us have been through this before. But imagine living in a village where your income is from the crops that you grow.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have much, but you have a family, you have children, and you have to sell rice, you have to sell corn, you have to sell whatever it is that they are harvesting just to feed your family. And then all of a sudden, a natural disaster happens and wipes everything away.
Well, think about this. Not just for you, but for a million other people. The population of Albuquerque and Santa Fe combined is only a little over 600,000 people.
Right.
Albuquerque's got about 550,000 people, and Santa Fe's got about 80,000 people. So, you know, like 630,000 people there. There's still 400,000. You know what I mean? Or so, like, people. That's a lot of people displaced.
Yeah.
Due to the monsoon season. Like I was thinking, I was complaining this week because the monsoons hit and I had been growing this honeysuckle, my wife and I, and one of them, like the right one, for some reason, just the hail damage and everything just kind of like obliterated it. And it's like, we're going to have to replant that side.
What are we going to do?
My privacy screen is shot. Neighbors are going to just watch us now. Seriously, man, this is what we're complaining about the monsoon season in Albuquerque. And we're looking at nearly 400 deaths and a million people without homes.
Yeah.
Sleeping in camps.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are displaced, you know. Some families can't find other family members.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I can't put myself in that situation because I've never been in a natural disaster. Or I've never just lost everything like that, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in it with your kids, you have children. And now you don't even know how you're going to feed your family.
Yeah.
Gospel for Asia. Gosh, you guys are always asking us, what organizations can we trust?
Right.
This organization, they have done so many incredible things. You know, they've helped more than 70,000 children. They've given free medical services in over 1,200 villages. They've drilled 4,000 wells.
Dang.
11,000 water filters installed. Christmas gifts for more than 200,000 needy families. And of course, they're bringing the gospel.
Yeah. Spiritual teachings available in 110 languages in 14 nations throughout their radio ministry. So I'm really stoked to talk to Danny here in just a minute about what we can do to help, because, man, they need food, they need clean water, they need medical supplies, there's going to be some long-term care because, as I mentioned, this is the worst flooding in over a century.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gfa.org/food, by the way, is where you want to go instantaneously if you're like, I don't even want to wait to hear from Dan. gfa.org/food.
Yeah.
And again, we'll be talking with the vice president of Gospel for Asia here in just a second.
We'll share all that on Facebook and stuff.
The Kerala floods, yeah.
So you guys can share it and let everybody know about it, because that's the thing, man. We can step up as Americans. We can step up, and we see that a lot. We see us stepping up and giving, because imagine if there wasn't organizations like Gospel for Asia. What if there wasn't Feed In 'Em Kids, where we raised over 2 tons of food just a couple weeks ago?
That was so great.
What if there wasn't shelters down here for the homeless?
Yeah.
Our city would look a lot different.
Well, and how would we respond as Christians? Because we're called to be giving. I mean, God loves a cheerful giver. It says that hilarious, like from within, you're just like, I cannot wait to share, to give, to do something amazing. So, yeah, man. I mean, the call is on us as Christians, and when we see these things, we have to respond. We have to respond.
Right.
So, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, be praying. Again, hurricane season, it's started, man. In Hawaii, they dodged a hurricane yesterday, and now there's another one headed their way, and I hate hurricane season. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, it's gfa.org/flood, not food. They need food, but it's flood. So gfa.org/flood. Missed the L in there. My bad.
What happens if you put food in?
The L out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, gfa.org/flood.
505-338-3700 if you guys like to call in. We also have a live line you can text in. What's that number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483. By the way, somebody said, I don't know, bro. ABQ Metro is about 800,000. That's weird because the last census said 565,000.
Well, see, I thought
people.
with Albuquerque and Bernalillo and Rio Rancho,
Maybe.
it was about 1 million is what I heard.
What?
Somebody told me that. Because you didn't say Bernalillo or Rio Rancho. You said Albuquerque and Santa Fe. So I get your numbers when you say Albuquerque and Santa Fe, but if you put in Bernalillo and Rio Rancho, I think we're talking like close to 1 million.
Really?
So that's kind of a good picture, if that's true, of, okay, just look at the area here in Albuquerque.
What does that say?
What's that? That's just Albuquerque, bro.
I know.
Now put in Rio Rancho.
559,000.
How many people live in Rio Rancho, and then how many people live in Bernalillo? And I think it's close to 1 million.
Really? Because 89,000.
Yeah, okay. Somebody told me that. That's 2011. It's grown a lot, okay? I'm sure they've hit at least 400,000. In 7 years, they've hit at least 400,000 people.
Yeah.
How many? Bernalillo, what are we talking? Like 20,000 people?
Population for Rio Rancho in 2018 was 86,000 people. Okay.
What's Bernalillo?
So you're not gonna hit 1 million, bro.
I'm sure it's probably wrong. It's probably a little off. Wow,
9,200 people
9,000
live in
people.
Bernalillo.
Okay, yep, close to 1 million.
So
whoever told me that is
which
completely
means
wrong.
I was probably pretty accurate.
You know what?
With
You were
my
pretty accurate. Good job.
600,000.
You were pretty
guys.
accurate.
I know my city, dog.
Good morning. Is this Danny?
Good morning, fellas. How's it going?
Oh,
what up?
Hi, man.
What's up? Hey, I was calling to see if I could get some Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday.
Is it your birthday?
Well, Sunday is, but you guys are working.
Wait. It's not even your birthday. Your birthday's Sunday.
Oh man!
Hey,
you gonna
Brent,
give me the third degree over here?
Brent, I'll give you the Chuck E. Cheese for your birthday because I love you, dude.
All right, brother. I appreciate
Chuck E.
it.
Cheese for my birthday. Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday.
That's all you get, dude. Sorry, man. That's all you get.
That's all we have time.
Love you,
That's
Brent.
all right.
Happy birthday, man.
That was enough to dance in my car.
There
so
you go.
Thanks, guys. You have
Love
a good
you, bro.
one.
Later,
have
dude.
a great day.
Brent, get out of here.
It's amazing.
Just waiting for Danny to call.
Yeah.
Danny from Gospel for Asia.
That's right.
Give you guys the information, find out what's happening down there, some of the major needs, and, just to get a good picture of what it's like to live in India. Some of the pictures that were sent to us are pretty crazy. It kind of reminded me of Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Remember that, you guys? Remember how crazy Hurricane Katrina got?
We have friends whose families lost homes, and all this time later, finally moving into the home, in July of 2018, and I'm going, that was like a month ago, and yet it feels like it was a year ago when we were talking about it, and it just leaves the news and we forget. And some of these things don't even hit the news.
Right.
I was reading about the Kerala floods on BBC News. BBC.
The most trusted news source?
To some.
Just kidding. It's Fox News. We all know that.
Okay. GFA.org/flood actually has an entire thing on the behind the scenes, the missionaries who are responding to the Kerala flooding. It's crazy. Along with a few coworkers, this dude Sean, who was a behind the scenes missionary, said, I coordinated the printing and mailing of the letter that involved running the printers for hours, communicating with the post office and those companies to send out mail, trying to train volunteers how to use these things, just to answer questions, to get the word out. Somebody else was trying to spend their time. This is crazy because it's 2018, and we don't think about these things. But they had one person who was spending most of their time trying to create Facebook ads just to create awareness about the floods, to encourage people to help, because they had no other way to get the word out because the flooding was so bad, everything was destroyed. And it's like, what do we do? All right, missionary, I'm on a boat, iPhone. All right, I got service over here. Facebook ads. That's how we're going to try and get the word out. We have no other means. Isn't that crazy?
Right. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah. So, but there are a lot of people over in India doing a lot of good work. And so coming up, we will be talking with Danny, the Vice President of Gospel for Asia, about what is going on over there. Because as the monsoon rains begin to rise, the efforts were hopefully being stepped up. We're seeing that to get relief, supplies to the isolated areas. But, yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll try to track down Danny from Gospel for Asia when we come back. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hang out.
A supernova on Star 88 with David Jeremiah.
With the tip of his finger, God flung the skies, the galaxies and oceans, and the continents into existence, each declaring in its own way the wisdom and beauty of the Creator. In his final act, he made something special, something that would bring more glory to himself than all that had gone before it. He created a man and a woman, and he put them in his image in the garden. But he did something very unusual before ending his work on his masterpiece. He handed this new man and this woman the paintbrush and asked them to add the final stroke to his creation, to paint in who they thought deserved to be at the center. Why would God do that? Because God knows what every person who's ever been in love knows, that love is only genuine when the person you love freely chooses to love you back.
Turning Point with David Jeremiah. Don't miss it on our sister station, KNKT, weekdays at 11 a.m. on 107.1 FM. Stephen Furtick makes it come alive in this Star PowerPoint.
It's never been about the size of the stone. It's about the size of the sacrifice. And one thing I like to ask myself when we prepare our offering is, if everybody in the church gave like you give, would the ministry move forward? Not the amount, because not everybody can give the same amount. Some can give a lot more and some may be able to give less. But if everybody gave the level of faith that you're giving, would the ministry move forward? And see, that question will cause somebody to give $1 million and somebody to give 100. It may cause a kid to give $5. It may cause somebody to give 15,000, 20,000, 50,000. I feel like I should go through every amount and maybe one will stand out to you. It's not about the amount. It's about the attitude of your heart.
That's a PowerPoint on Star 88. Martin Luther King Jr. said this: forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a permanent attitude. Star 88 with a solar flare.
Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Good morning, Star. Excited to have Danny, Gospel for Asia, hanging out with us on the phone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to Albuquerque.
Yeah, it's good to be there from here.
Dude, we are stoked to talk about this because obviously a lot goes on in the world and in our Facebook and Instagram culture where we care about something for about 7 seconds until the next big thing hits our social media. We honestly don't hear a lot about things going on, especially halfway across the globe. And so I'm really stoked to not only raise awareness, but actually do something about what's going on in the Indian state of, is it pronounced Kerala?
Yeah, very close. Kerala.
Kerala. Okay, good to know. Danny, tell us a little bit about what is happening over there for those like myself who are ignorant, who just have no idea.
Well, I think most people don't know about what's going on just because it hasn't really hit the mainstream media much. It was on BBC in a couple of places just for a very short time, but exactly like he talked about, the news cycle is so short that it just kind of can pass by people without even realizing it. What's happened is this last month has been very, very devastating for the small little state of Kerala. Kerala is in the southern area of India. So if you find a map of India, go all the way down to the very end and tip of India, you'll find Kerala there. It's a very tropical, humid place where a lot of rice is grown, rice paddy fields, and so a lot of monsoon rains on a yearly basis. But what's happened is there's been such a huge amount of monsoon rains that happened all at once that they had to open all the shutters and all the dams and basically let the water out, which flooded all the valleys and flooded the lowlands. The lowlands are built at sea level or below sea level because you want the waters to flood the paddy fields, which is normal. But this flooding happened to be worse than any other flooding that they've seen in over about almost 100 years.
Wow.
And so if you think about it, any infrastructure, schools, hospitals, airports, bus stations, train stations, any infrastructure that has been built in the last 100 years has not been tested for this kind of flooding. There's pictures of the national highway where there's like 5-6 feet of water covering the national highway. So right now, still, you have over 1 million people displaced out of their homes in refugee camps and thousands of camps around the state. You have tens of thousands of homes destroyed, tens of thousands of children whose school books are gone, uniforms are gone, school supplies are gone. You have everyone in those certain areas that pretty much had lost all their cattle, had lost their chickens and goats and cattle that they would use for milk and use for goods. You've got right now people that are still trying to figure out what to do and what to go back to because you've got all their homes gone, and like, what is 1 million people supposed to do when they go back to nothing? And so the immediate crisis of rains has subsided, but the massive cleanup work and the massive real difficulty begins now, where, I think it's out of the news because the rains have stopped, but that doesn't mean the effects of the flooding have stopped. They estimate it's going to take about 5 years to bring back some normalcy to the situation there. Both major airports were closed because the flooding was so bad that it's actually reaching the airports. Hospitals around the state were shut down because of the flooding. Either it cut off electricity or the influx of water and mud and silt had flooded the hospitals. And so it is a devastating issue, devastating problem right now. But by God's grace, our field partners and the people that we work with were already there on the ground. For example, we have our Bridge of Hope ministry, which is the ministry to children. We have about 70,000 children that we help in different countries, and quite a number of Bridge of Hope centers are in Kerala. And so the workers in those Bridge of Hope centers were able to start immediately reaching out to the families, and they actually turned some of the Bridge of Hope centers into a feeding center. Wow. Some of the other schools that we partner with were able to be a relief camp at this time. The hospital that is there, run by our field partners, is one of the only hospitals that were still running during the flood season. So we had an influx of patients more than any other time. Our students were out helping to rescue people during the flooding season. In fact, my brother-in-law went with some of the other doctors and some of the other colleagues to go down the national highway on a tractor and be rescuing people, and also taking boats and other means to basically just pull people to safety. And it was extremely difficult in some areas. You could not get to people unless it was by helicopter, which the government
of Kerala and also the country responded very quickly. Appreciate their response, and not waiting for anything to be a perfect situation, but just getting people in there quickly to rescue people. But still, the aftermath of the effect is still there, where right now the greatest fear is waterborne diseases.
Yeah.
And so the irony is this: you got so much water that's flooded everything, but yet it's undrinkable. And people, in the point of desperation, will end up drinking contaminated water and getting majorly sick. So there's about 500 people that have lost their lives right now. There's many, many who are unaccounted for, and so that number will go up. But a lot of times in these kinds of tragedies, the number of deaths actually goes up simply because of the waterborne disease and the contaminated water and lack of clean food. And so that is the greatest concern right now that we're actually addressing by giving preventative medicine resources to these people along with the government to be able to prevent waterborne diseases spreading very quickly, especially through the camps, where there's thousands of camps and, about 1 million people that are displaced in these camps. And we don't want to see, something spread very quickly and tragedy take place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what's amazing to me, going back to what you said, is the cleanup and the number of years it's going to take. We were talking earlier about Hurricane Harvey that formed a little over a year ago, August 17th, 2017. And here in America, it was a huge deal right away, and J.J. Watts, and they raised millions of dollars for it, and then we stopped talking about it. Well, here it is a year later, and Dex and I were saying, we have a really good friend whose parents lost their home and didn't get back into their home here in America until July of this last year. And so it took them almost a year, and we're talking America. Now let's go out into this southern tip of India, and you were saying 5 times that, 5 years for the cleanup on that. And I, as an American, I'm like, I can't even fathom that. So how can we help? What can we do to help ease some of this and to really bring about relief for that southern part of India?
I think there's a couple of things to remember. I believe today is actually the 25th anniversary of Hurricane Andrew that hit, and so this is the day that people are remembering major disasters, whether it's Hurricane Harvey or Andrew. But a couple of things. I would say 3 things that people can do practically. One is pray. I think every believer can pray. I don't think we have any excuse not to pray. And this would be my challenge. Take 15 minutes out of your week, which is about 3 songs or so on the radio, and set it aside for praying for missions. Pray for what God's heart is breaking for around the world. Get your family together. Use your TV, your internet, your radio as sources of prayer requests. And pray that God would be merciful to those that are suffering. Pray for the people that are bringing relief, that God would protect them, and pray for resources. Second is I would challenge people to use the tools that God has given to them, especially social media, texting, internet, whatever it is, to let all of their friends know. This is not just an awareness campaign, but it is important to bring awareness to people so they can pray and they can give. But, each of us have got tons of people that we know, either texting friends. I texted like 75 people the other day, just a tiny little sentence and put a link in it and said, hey, can you just be praying about this and looking at this?
That's good.
So I think people should take 10 minutes out of their day today and do something to let people know about the flooding in Kerala and the aftermath. And third, I would challenge people, every single person, to go to gfa.org/flood and look at what is happening, give if they can, and see what God can do to use their life to give, make an impact on someone across the world in the name of Christ. This is one of the most important opportunities that we have. So pray, bring awareness to other people, but then also give practically from what God has given to us so that we can be used by the Lord to bring help and healing to people that are in desperate need right now.
Danny, that's great, man. That's really good.
Posting everything currently to our Facebook page, facebook.com/star88FM. If you needed to go directly to gfa.org dannysaid.com/flood. We're going to have that all there, all of the details, including the press release, everything going on. Please take a moment, as Danny said, pray, share, give. Danny, thank you so very, very much for your time and for sharing with our listening audience. And we will continue to pray and share this as well, and hope that, the children of God come together in a mighty way and help bring relief to this incredible tragedy. And so, thank you again.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, God bless, man.
We'll see you. That's gfa.org/flood. And we'll post all the details at our Facebook and YouTube. And if you guys need that again, you can text in. We'll hook you guys up. But, I can't even imagine. Just for a minute, just try to put yourself in the shoes of somebody else. And imagine you've lost everything.
Well, he mentioned Hurricane Andrew. It was 26 years ago, actually. 26 years ago, it struck Florida. And I was reading an article in the Orlando Sentinel that it is still impacting Florida 26 years later after it hit land. 26 years in America. We're talking about this southern little tip of India. Posting everything right now. Facebook.com/Star88FM.
All right, we got to take just a quick break. We're live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hang out.
The Morning Invasion.
We'll be right back. Oh. We'll bring you something pretty. Okay.
former contract worker at the National Security Agency who provided journalists with confidential information the NSA compiled, will now spend more than 5 years in federal prison.
Hurricane Lane is weakening as it approaches Hawaii.
Committee for North Carolina's State Historical Commission has decided 3 Confederate monuments will stay at the Capitol, but additional signage will be added explaining historical context.
The My Personality app asked users personality questions and offered feedback. Now Facebook says the app was sharing information with researchers.
Ohio State University has suspended its football coach.
Investigators concluded Coach Urban Meyer and athletic director Gene Smith weren't acting in bad faith. Failing to report domestic violence allegations against a former assistant coach still violated university policy.
The president's nominee to head the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is headed to the full Senate for consideration. Kathy Kraninger just passing the Senate Banking Committee on a party line vote, 13-12.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. So we just got off the phone with Danny from Gospel for Asia, and he gave details about the flooding.
That's right.
Over 1 million people displaced, and they're dealing with now diseases because the water's contaminated. There's so many things going on, and then we get
and then this happened.
We get a message because Danny forgot to let us know, let us in on another fact that's happening down there, and that there have been 50 people that have died from snakes, because apparently the snakes are trying to find a dry spot, so they go to the rooftops. Where are the people hanging out? On the rooftops.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I hate snakes.
I don't know if I would die. I would die.
He'd be like, you know what?
I'm out.
I'm done.
Steve-O,
I thought
drown
I could
me now. Drown me now. I would. I couldn't do it. I hate snakes
No,
so
yesterday,
much.
to be fair, yesterday
Oh.
we were watching this video because it was in Florida, I believe. And an animal control person went out there because they got a call about a snake, and they're like, we always get these. It's probably a ball python. They're like 2 or 3
probably
feet
a ball
long.
python.
No big deal.
No pigs.
And he got out there, and it was like almost 7 feet tall, like a giant python. And I'm going, nope. I just leave.
And it's funny because I was watching the video with Steve-O, and I backed away from the screen
He
like
really
it was going to
did.
strike at me.
He really, really did.
I hate snakes. I hate them.
That's actual audio of Dex yesterday watching the video.
It is.
So, yeah. I mean,
Gosh.
as if it's not bad enough. Like, you lost everything, and you're, like, huddled on a roof, like, waiting for somebody to come rescue you, and then it's like,
Yeah, there's some snakes.
Hey, bro. Sorry. It's really cold in the water. I thought I'd kick it up here with you. Never mind. I'm jumping in the water.
Yeah. 50 people. 50 people have died from snake bites.
Yeah, man.
Gosh.
Please get over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/star88fm. We posted all of the details, or you could go directly to gfa.org/flood and lend your support as they are trying to offer relief over in the Kerala region of India. Dude.
Man, if you feel like you're having a bad day, you probably should just stop it right now. Just stop it.
On a very microscopic level, this happened to our boy Drew yesterday. 00 Messi, as we call him. He's our center fielder for Luke's 13U club baseball team. We had games last night at the new City of Albuquerque facilities, which, by the way, our city spent stupid amounts of money on these new baseball facilities, and I'm like, I've never even seen these before.
Yeah.
But now we're like 13U, we're playing up, and we're in the big city. I need to post a photo. I took some great shots yesterday. Gorgeous.
Beautiful, guys.
Yeah, good job, City of Albuquerque. Good job.
Beautiful.
These are incredible. And they had like pillars, and it's like highlighting the balloon fiesta and all these different things about our city that are great. Red and green chili, and I'm going, hey, good job, Albuquerque. This is amazing.
I feel like they could have spent that money on something else.
Okay, shut up. It was great. However, it's up like off 98th, and so like you take the freeway to like 98th, and it's like desertous wasteland where like, you know, Breaking Bad type things happen out in an RV, like seriously in the middle of nowhere. You got Walter White over here cooking in an RV, and then you've got gorgeous baseball facility in the middle of nowhere. So what comes with gorgeous baseball facility in the middle of nowhere is
snakes,
yesterday,
guys. There's so many snakes.
Oh, you joke. Yesterday, Messi's out in center field, woo, everything's good. And then all of a sudden it's like freak out happening in center field.
Somebody have a stroke?
And we're looking out there for this 12-year-old who is losing his mind. And sure enough, one of the coach grabs a lid from one of the baseball buckets, and he's going out there, and you can kind of see like this black mass on the ground. And he goes out there, and it's like, what is happening? And all of a sudden, like, 3 kids come running in, and they go, Spider! And I'm like, Spider? Spider! No. Not spider. Tarantula the size of my hand.
God, tarantulas are supposed to be nice.
Dude, you tell that to a 12-year-old playing a baseball game and looks over and there's a tarantula the size of my hand.
Yeah, it was big.
No joke. So one of the coaches, they're like trying to scoop it. It was amazing watching these grown-ups like, time out mid-baseball game, trying to scoop this giant tarantula, and then they finally get him on the lid, and it's like everybody's freaking out, and they're like trying to get over there. I posted it at Steve O'Jeets, my Instagram, my personal Instagram, because I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm Instagramming it, and sure enough, it's like, and then there's a giant tarantula by my foot.
It's tarantula season, guys.
It was about the size of my hand. It was
so
monstrous
funny because
and amazing.
I've lived here for almost 20 years. I've never seen a tarantula here, ever, and they're everywhere, right?
Yeah. Apparently. So up in that area. But again, I had no idea these baseball facilities even existed until, whatever. And
see, another reason why they should have never put baseball fields out there, Steve-O, because that was probably where these tarantulas lived.
Yeah.
They lived outside of the city. They were like, you know what, we'll stay out here so we can stay away.
We were the hurricane that came in and displaced all of the tarantulas and millipedes. They're snakes. It's crazy out there.
Unbelievable.
So,
poor little guys.
If you're planning on going to a baseball game at the new city facilities out there, be very careful.
No, they're not going to hurt you. They're fine.
Oh, yeah. The rattlesnakes may hurt you. Just saying. So, yeah, all that to say, we think we got probs and trubs. Go check out what's happening in the Kerala region of India. 1 million.
How do you spell tarantula?
Wow. Totally wrong from the start. T-A.
Okay. I Googled how many people die from tarantulas.
Okay.
In the United States, an average of 6.6 people die from venomous spider bites each year.
6, huh?
8 times as many. Okay, but it says venomous. Okay, but I guess a tarantula, they're poisonous.
Not really.
But they are poisonous, I guess. But they don't usually bite you, is what I heard. Like a daddy longlegs is poisonous, but they don't bite.
Yeah, those. I feel like those are old wives' tales.
You think?
Jared says they're everywhere on the west side of the river. Yeah. So.
All right, are daddy longlegs poisonous? A widespread myth holds that daddy longlegs, also known as the granddaddy longlegs, or harvestmen, are the most venomous spiders in the world. We're only safe from their bite, we are told, because their fangs are too small and weak. Doesn't tell me what
to break through human skin. Okay.
There you go.
That's what we've been told. Is that real?
I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research on this, guys. I'll get back to you.
I hope you do. Hope you do.
Yeah, for some reason, I used to be scared of spiders. Spiders don't really, they don't bother me that much anymore. But snakes? Gosh, man. No way, Jose.
Over 50 people have died in this Kerala floodings.
No way.
The Kerala.
Oh, my gosh.
Kerala. I'm going to get it right one of these days.
I get it. We need them for the ecosystem. But no, I consider them demons from hell. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Steve-O, you didn't read that right. They're everywhere. On the west side of the river. Yeah. We don't have any of those problems over here on the east side of the river.
I was going to say, maybe that's why.
Have fun, Richie Rich. Some of us enjoy the west side a little more than others. So, yeah. I love the west side. Ride or die, bro. Ride or die. Thanks for the call, curmudgeon.
Amazing. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Tarantulas, they hate the Northeast Heights. They just, for some reason, they don't really like grass.
You know what the funny thing is? The only times I've ever seen rattlesnakes in my life are on the east side of the river growing up off Central Tramway area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Rattlesnakes because of the mountains up there in the Fort Hills area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever seen rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I would say like Tramway up there by the foothills.
Yeah.
A lot of rattlesnakes for sure.
Mountain lions. You know.
Yeah.
In the foothills. No
Bears,
bigs.
mountain lions.
East side of the river, guys. So tell me again how the west side is terrifying.
Yeah. Little tarantula that people have as a household pet.
They'll take a carjacker
they're
any
not
day of the
scary.
week over a snake. So
Yeah, you know what? Good call. Where are all the criminals hanging out? Northeast.
by the way, MythBusters proved the daddy longlegs not being able to bite as false.
Oh,
So
really?
that's not real.
Really? That is not real.
Somebody said I remember playing out there when I was a kid. We called it the Field of Weeds because that's all it was. Axis deer used to hang out right by the fences where we were. That's cool.
Axis deer. Tasty.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good morning.
All right, now I wasn't trying to say that we don't have any kind of animal problems up here.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to just stay on the
We
phone?
just don't have the tarantulas or the scorpions
just
that
wanna
you
stay
guys
on
have
the
on the
phone?
west side of the river.
That's true.
But we do have stuff up here. I mean, almost ran into a bear in the middle of the street a couple years ago up here.
Okay.
Wow, where was that
I'll
at?
take a spider any day of the week over a bear.
Way.
What, Indian School and Tramway, you said?
Wow.
Yeah. Came around a corner and there's this big old thing in the road and it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm looking at it going, that's a big dog. And it was just staring at me, not moving, and then the thing started loping off, and I was like, no, that doesn't move like any dog. Dude, that's a bear.
Now, what did you do, sir?
Wow.
Did you put your car in reverse,
No,
or did you
no.
go forward and stare it down? Because you need to be able to.
I played dead.
You played dead.
No, I was halfway through a turn, and this thing was in the middle of the road, and it was just looking at me. And as it loped off, I finished my turn and then pulled over and got on the phone, called home, and said, you might not want to put the dogs out right away because there's a bear in the neighborhood.
Have you ever had this thought? Call me crazy or just ridiculous.
You're crazy, Dex.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think when that bear sees a car, they think it's an animal, like a large animal, right? Probably. Because they don't think it's a car.
I don't know.
They probably think it's like a real living, breathing animal, right? But then you think about a bear seeing somebody climb out of the animal, like opening up an animal's stomach and then walking out of that animal's Am I an idiot? Am I stupid? Because, I mean, to be an animal would be crazy. I'm just going to shut up.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he turned his mic off. I apologize for him. It's Friday. It's Friday, you know. So thankfully Sam Swan will be here with me in the 8 o'clock hour. So, I apologize again.
Nobody
so
else has ever had that thought?
Have a great day, sir. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
338-3700 if you'd like to chime in. Call it. You've never had that thought?
No,
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. Well, I'd like to talk to a scientist or an animal expert.
No,
find
Paul
out if
says
that's
only Dex
true.
would think of this.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should probably keep all of my comments to myself.
Dude, he also said he killed a baby rattlesnake at one of his daughter's soccer games here.
Those are the most deadliest.
Just hanging out right by where all the younger kids were playing.
Those are the deadliest, the baby ones, because they don't know how to just do little spurts of poison when they.
That's the
I'm terrible
scientific
at-
term.
Yeah.
They don't know how to, adequately adjust their
spurts of
venom
poison.
spitter.
Yeah.
And
when they bite, they can't control the venom.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do if you get bit by a snake, a rattlesnake?
Oh man.
Poisonous snake. What do you do?
Pray, call 911. Pray. In that order. Pray as you're dialing 911. Continue to
What
pray.
if you don't have a cell phone?
Pray.
And do nothing?
Cry out to God.
Wow.
What do you do? Because people talk about like the sucking the venom out.
Don't do
thing.
that.
That's not.
That's
yeah.
not true.
That's actually not true.
They say like if you're out hiking and you don't have a cell phone to call for help or anything like that, you want to make sure to keep your heart rate down. Because let's say you're like, oh, I got to get to the doctor, and you run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your
It's
heart's
like,
pumping, and so
faster.
you
and
want to
so
make
that's
sure
traveling
that
faster.
the poison doesn't travel up to your heart.
Right.
And they also say, I don't know who carries a Sharpie with them, but if you carry a backpack or something and you go hiking a lot, put a Sharpie in there because then you can, when you get bit, you can circle the bite and put the time when you got bit.
Who is that calm? Like,
Exactly. That's
okay. Hold on.
That's
I
what they
gotta
tell
get
you.
out my
That's what they
Sharpie.
tell you.
The time it is 7:54. Hold on, 7:54. 54 a.m. circle.
Yeah. And then they want you to track the poison as it climbs through your leg and continue to write down the times. I don't know. That's what they tell you.
After, like, as my car accident was happening, people were like, wow, because my brakes locked and I had to immediately I tried downshifting. That wasn't giving, so I hit my emergency brake and they're like, wow, you thought of like 3 things as this thing was happening.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when you told me.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I went into like ultra,
like Matrix mode.
Maybe, I don't know. And then all of a sudden it was done, and or maybe you just go into like this shock, and so it kind of like.
What if you have a superpower, bro, and you tapped into it?
Okay.
All the superheroes have to have something crazy happen to them to unlock it.
By the way, pressure wrap the bite area as tight as possible so the venom doesn't spread. That's another thing you're supposed to do right away. Somebody else said, I live in Rio Rancho. I've come across porcupines and badgers.
Badgers are
I've seen
nasty.
raccoons. I had never seen a raccoon in my life. I didn't know we had them.
They're so cute, but they'll claw your face off.
Yeah.
My dogs used to get into fights with badgers all the time, and they would never win. Badgers are nasty animals.
Somebody says you're completely right, though, Steve-O. The West Side is filled with snakes. There's a dude over here on the West Side that's been dodging me since 2015. He owes me money. Well
so
done,
many
sir.
snakes over there.
Well done.
So many.
The tarantula, not a big deal. However, the tarantula hawk, look out for them. They're a wasp-like thing that hunts tarantulas.
Oh, my gosh.
So where there are tarantulas, there are tarantula hawks. Probably the most painful sting from an insect on the pain scale index.
They love squirrel? Yep. What? You almost got attacked by a... What? Uh-huh. Wait, Chinese food? What? I don't understand. So you're eating Chinese... Can I talk? You know what? Just... Oh, whoa. Whoa, don't use that language on this show. This is a family show, dude. Fine, whatever.
Hang up on him. Wow. By the way, guess what? The state of New Mexico, its official state insect, the tarantula hawk. Its selection was prompted by a group of elementary school children from Edgewood doing research on states that had adopted state insects. They selected 3 insects as candidates, mailed the ballots to all the schools for a statewide election. The winner, the tarantula hawk wasp. These things look terrifying, and they are all over Southeast Asia, Africa, Europe, and the great state of New Mexico. Congratulations, guys.
They're only the size of a pelican.
We have tarantula hawks.
I think I've seen one of those. Things like bigger than a bat.
Yeah, so stay away. Stay away from them. They look gorgeous, though.
They are so
got like
beautiful.
Orange wings. Look like a transformer. Great.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang out.
Let's all remember together, the joy of the Lord is our strength.
Joy has much less to do with what's going on around you and much more to do with what's going on inside you.
Hotspot. He continues with a crucial point on joy.
It's not an automatic response. This is something that is a learned response. It's a choice that you make to make joy your outlook.
Get a whole lot more teachings from Skip, like 3,000 plus at connectwithskip.com.
When you rejoice in the Lord, your joy is a byproduct of a relationship with God. Perhaps one of the reasons you don't experience joy is because you're looking for joy in all the wrong places.
Now, here's a real hot thought from Skip.
God is still on the throne. Check. I'm a child of God. Check. All things work together for those who love God. Check. All of that produces my response of, okay then, I'm going to be joyful.
Hotspot. Pastor Jack Graham and a Star 88 Supernova.
This whole world is reserved with fire. All the material world, all the material creation, the elements of this world, the materials of this world are filled with fire. This pulpit is fire. Your human body is fire. These lights, this building is all stored up and reserved with fire. That's what we learned when we learned that we could split the elements and split the atom. That there is tremendous energy and life force and nuclear power. God said all along that this world is reserved with fire. So in verse 10, he says, the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. suddenly, unexpectedly, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise. And the Greek word there for noise is a word which means whirring noise.
Catch Pastor Jack Graham, PowerPoint, broadcast weekdays at 10:30 a.m. on our sister station, KNKT. This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM, KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm. Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Yay.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back. It was a beautiful Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Star 88 FM on Facebook and YouTube. You guys want to hang out with us and watch the show? And you guys can also chime in, 505-338-3700. What's the live line number to text in?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483. If you'd like to text into the show.
Guess who's here, everybody? The Swan.
Here I am.
Here I am, guys.
It's me.
Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I am meeting myself coming and going. Is what I'm doing.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm sorry I bailed on you guys last week.
Don't even.
But I'm gonna tell a story.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, most of us, we like to feel like we got it all together, right?
Oh, sure.
And we want.
I mean, I have.
We want to project that. Well, sure. Everybody besides Dex. We want to project that idea that we have it all together, right? So we're in the middle of these Sunday school trainings. So we're traveling around the state. There'll be 12 different ones that we're doing.
Okay.
So we're traveling around the state and we're equipping Sunday school work. I'm working with the people who work with the teenagers, and we have a lady who's doing the children in preschool, and we have a guy who's doing the adult stuff. So we're traveling all these places. Well, there's one in Hobbs, but I was thinking it was next Saturday.
Oh,
I mean, like tomorrow. But this was Thursday of last week. So I'm just talking, and then when I get up Friday morning, because that training's in the morning, so I have to leave Friday night to get, because it's a 5-hour drive to Hobbs from here. So Friday morning, Brenda says, she shows me the calendar.
Oh, no.
Because I tried to do it off my memory. She goes,
God bless her.
You had to be in Hobbs. I know.
God bless her.
God bless that little woman of mine.
Tell you what.
You have to be in Hobbs tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, man, I can't go to the radio station. I got to pack.
Where would you be without your wife?
Lost and alone.
That's right. Lost and alone. Very
absolutely.
confused.
Yes.
Probably somewhere almost naked. Probably have your Fruit of the Looms on, but that's about it.
Yes.
I know.
Well,
it's
Fruit of the
tragic.
Loom doesn't fit quite right. I prefer jockey, but that's a whole other story right there.
Weird.
I like silk.
We're talking about underwear.
Well, that's cool.
So
Well, I'm
that's
glad
why I
your
wasn't
wife-
here last week. Yeah, I'm glad she was here to help me out. So here's my journey since Friday.
Okay.
Friday, I leave. I go to Hobbs. Spend the night. Do the training. Saturday morning, I eat lunch with my daughter Stephanie and her husband Dane and their kids. Okay, because that's one of the things about this is I get to see them when I go to Hobbs. Okay, so then I come back to Albuquerque. I spend the night in Albuquerque. I preach Sunday morning in Los Alamos at First Baptist. And then right after church is over in Los Alamos, I drive to Tucumcari.
Wow.
And I did a training seminar Sunday night. And then I could have spent the night in Tucumcari, but instead I drove to Clovis because the next one, Monday night, was in Portales. So I did a training in Portales Monday night, spent the night in Portales Monday night. Got up Tuesday, drove to Alamogordo, did a training Tuesday night in Alamogordo. Wednesday morning, drove back to Clovis because I'm doing an interim youth ministry thing for Central Baptist in Clovis on Wednesdays. I'm going over there and doing their youth stuff for them. So I did that Wednesday night, spent the night in Clovis. Thursday, came back to Albuquerque. So that's my journey.
Sam.
Since I'm not complaining, I signed up for it. This is the job I signed up for.
Are you complaining though? Are you?
Maybe a little. Hashtag first world problems.
First world problems.
Yeah. So I'm tired of sitting in a car.
Did you hear about the floods in India? Did you hear about them? Huh?
I didn't hear about the floods in India.
Oh, well, you should go back to the podcast and listen to our interview we had Danny this morning.
From Gospel for Asia.
That's right.
Oh,
Millions of people displaced because they've lost everything. Sam?
Why would you bring that up after I tell my sad story? Hawaii's getting hit pretty hard right now, too.
I know.
Rain.
What's the category?
Last I heard was Category 3, and it could drop to a 2, but it's dropping tons of rain, and it's moving super slow. It was like 7 miles an hour last night. It's down to 5 miles an hour, which means it's just going to drop
31 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Wow. It is a Category 3 storm.
Yeah.
31 inches of rain on Hawaii's Big Island. So
Hilo.
the flooding is catastrophic.
It's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Starmy, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Reds.
Wonderful.
Hey, so I apologize. I wasn't able to get on your last segment, and now I'm stepping all over Sam's feet. I apologize, Sam.
It's okay.
But I have to tell you, see, I originally come from New Hampshire. We deal with bears all the time, and then something worse. That's called a fisher cat. You can Google that. Bears will avoid these things. They're like weasels. They're nasty.
Fisher
But
cat?
my first introduction to your beautiful state came in, I want to say, a couple of weeks after I moved here in in April of 2009. I was sitting out on a park bench just doing some writing late afternoon, early evening, and tarantula hawks are gentle beasts, generally speaking. They're gentle
right.
insects. They won't mess with you unless you're antagonizing them. But they, like the snakes, need to find some place warm to be when it starts getting cooler. I stood up from the park bench. The shorts that I was wearing, they tightened up. The tarantula hawk that had crawled in there without me realizing it felt threatened and decided to jab that giant stinger square into my thigh.
Oh, man.
I freaked out. It dropped out, and I walked/hobbled. I don't know if you've ever done a hobble run, but that's what I did for about 120 yards or something like that to where I was staying. By the time I got into the house, my thigh had swelled up so bad we actually had to cut my shorts off.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Whoa, dude!
All of that to say, that was my introduction to New Mexico, where basically everything will either eat you, poison you, or sting you.
Welcome to the land of enchantment.
I'm glad you decided to stick around because
Yeah.
I love this place so very much. So, wow.
Man.
Be careful, man.
That's crazy.
Be careful.
That is crazy.
Did you have any kind of hallucinations or anything?
No,
Okay.
fortunately, but I will tell you this: it did hurt. Their place on the pain index is well earned. I'll put it that way.
Oh, my heavens. I am not going outside ever again.
I know, right?
Thanks, Reds. Be careful
Take
out
care,
there.
guys.
Hey, man.
All right, man. Jeez.
Gee whiz, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Willikers.
Hey, speaking of new to the scene, friend of the show, Mark just chimed in to say, hey, I just found out about Star 88 today.
Oh.
I like it. You do good work. I used to be a Native American pastor. I did things with the PD in San Francisco Bay Area, helped with the 9/11 cleanup for Ground Zero up in New York some years ago. Now I am here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So it is good to get up to the radio to listen in. I also get silly like all of you as well. Ha ha ha. Blessings.
Beautiful, man.
That's
Yeah.
great. Hey, welcome to the Starmy. Mark.
Welcome.
Yeah.
That's what we call our listening audience, because Star 88.
It's our tribe.
And it's our army.
It's our clan.
The
Yep.
Starmy.
It sounds dumb at first, but it grows on
It'll
you.
grow on you like
Yeah.
a fungus.
Starmy.
Yeah, it's great. So,
phone line's open, 505-338-3700, and you can text into the live line. What's that number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
I'm glad Sam's here because we got a letter, and man, he caught a beautiful, beautiful Brenda. How many years ago?
We've been married 34, but we were hanging out for a year before that, so 35, I guess.
35 years. So you got some skills, man. You got some skills.
I guess
Steve
so.
and I have some skills, and that's why people write into us.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
I have no skills, absolutely none. So we did a letter yesterday. This girl wrote into the show, and she went out on a date with a guy, and things were great. They had good chemistry, and the date was going amazing until the guy was trying to find a place to park, and the only place that was open was a parking space where he would have to have parallel parked. He couldn't do it, so he asked her if he would or she would parallel park the car. And so we had a good conversation about it, whether or not, she should go out on a second date. And we're hoping to hear back from her to see if she actually is going to go out with him again. We're kind of anxious to hear about that. But somebody was listening to us talk about that yesterday and wrote in. Said, Dex and Steve-O, heard the letter you guys did about the guy who couldn't parallel park. Had to ride into the show. I went out on a date the other night, and halfway through the date, my date told me he had to go because I stink.
Oh, my gosh.
He couldn't handle the smell. I'm a veterinarian, and if this is not the first time I've heard someone say that to me, but on a date, dog pound animal smell is never good. Anyways, I thought I would share that with you. I think I might have dodged a bullet. I'm also glad he didn't waste my time just staying on the date. I guess that's a good way to look at that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. He has a very positive attitude.
So I'm glad he was honest with me. Love you guys.
There's no question in there.
There's no question. I just wanted to share that.
And you were glad I was here to hear that.
But
are you trying to tell me I stink?
Yes. We have an intervention right now.
Can we open the door
with you?
Get some
Sam?
ventilation?
Yes.
An intervention with ventilation.
No, I want to talk about the fact that the guy called out a girl on a date that she stinks.
Because
Let's
she
talk about
is
that
a
for a second.
veterinarian and smelled like animals? Like,
right. My whole point is this guy called out a girl who didn't smell right in his opinion.
Okay.
On a date? You're telling me, men, you better buck it up. All right? I don't care how bad she stinks. I don't care if she smells like horse manure, dog manure, fox manure. I don't care if she smells like the most hideous thing in the world. You never, ever tell a woman she stinks.
Okay.
Except for bat guano. That's horrible.
I disagree. Yes,
What?
I actually disagree with you on this one.
What?
Dude, okay, listen, Stormy member. You're a veterinarian, and she even said in the letter that
it's not the first
it's
time.
not the first time somebody told her she stinks, but this was a date, and how could he do that to her? But at the same time, if people over your animal nastiness career have told you stink, and you knew you were going on a date, you don't think you should freshen up and maybe not smell like cat pee? Come on.
You know how hard it is to get cat pee smell out?
I'm just saying.
Do you know how hard it is, man, when you're around animals all day?
Sam, who's right? Tell me I'm right.
Who's right?
You're going on a date,
Do you
right?
tell your date if she smells hideous, in your opinion, do you call it out on the date?
If it's so bad that you can't even finish the date, like you're eating and you're like, oh, I physically can't eat my dinner
You're
because
a weak
you
person.
smell
You are
like
a
horse
weak,
poo.
weak person, and I feel sorry for you.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
That's a
really,
tough one.
huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe we'll sniff out the truth here in a little bit.
Yep, I knew it.
Here we go.
I knew it.
Here we go. He's gonna make sense of this one. Sense of this one. Sorry, that was too smart.
S-E-N-T. That's C-N-T-C.
Yeah, C-N-T. Yes,
yeah.
sense. He's gonna make sense of this
Pun
one.
joke Friday. Here
Gosh,
we go.
it was too much. Sorry. Much like her odor.
Talk about the hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah. Keep them coming. Let me hear more.
No, but really, I'm serious.
I'm being serious too.
You really would just endure
Never.
it?
Well, okay.
Never in my life would I ever call a
feel
girl
like-
because she stunk.
I feel like there's an element of honesty here
Yes.
that is lacking in some of these situations. I don't know how, according to the letter, he said I stink. So I don't know if he was tactful or if he was completely rude about the way that he said it. But he was at least being frank and honest with her.
Yes.
Whether he did it kindly or not, that we don't know. We can't tell from what she wrote.
Yeah.
Steve-O does have a little bit of a point in that, I mean, if she didn't have time from doing her duties as a vet
Right,
to go into the date, then she might, maybe carry something in the car some Febreze or something that she could.
Some Febreze.
Because it not only masks
man.
the smell, it gets rid of the odor.
Oh.
That's what I hear on the commercials
okay.
anyway.
You spray it in your armpits and like.
I think you just spray a big fog of it and walk through it.
Okay,
yeah, I think that's how.
I don't know if that works.
How would you do Febreze, or have a friend spray it all over you.
I may die
Uh-huh.
shortly after this next bit, but I'd like to call my wife.
You call your wife. Please call your wife. Please get Christy on the phone. Because, and Starmy, chime in. Do you think it's ever acceptable?
You wait,
honestly,
buddy. I didn't know about this letter. Now I'm like, oh man, it's about to go down.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I can't wait.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, you're on the air with Sam Swan and Dex. They're here for my safety so that you don't murder me through the phone. So
I can't wait.
I'm stuck in traffic on I-40, so.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Please
Sorry
tell,
to hear that.
She's on Bluetooth.
please
so.
tell me that Steve-O did this exact same thing to you.
Are you listening? Have you heard what we're talking about with this date and the guy who had to like pull out of the date halfway through because she's a veterinarian and she smelled really bad and he was like, I can't do it. I got to go.
Yes.
Okay. In your opinion, if someone is dealing with an odor that, say, is just too much, do you think it's ever acceptable to say, I don't know, call that person out on said odor if for some reason maybe they have sensitive nostrils and you know they have sensitive nostrils, but you also know that you're on this weird diet that makes your breath stink? Wait, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
You call me out on everything. If my breath even smells like coffee, he complains about it. So.
Wow.
Listen, guys, listen. Number one petus to peevists, okay? Like, I can't take weird smells. I've got, like, superhuman nostrils.
At least I know I smell good because he never calls me out.
So
That's right.
We always say that's like my X-Men mutant ability. So
It's ridiculous.
He is
Chrissy-
nostril man.
Chrissy is
No,
currently...
never mind that I've lost 15 pounds on keto.
She looks amazing
She does.
right
You
now.
look great.
She's since like January, she's lost like double that, right? And so like she looks amazing. Let's start there. But however, Google keto breath, if you will. It's this.
He
It's
had
what.
me convinced that I had a rotten tooth in my mouth.
Oh,
and
my
I went
gosh.
to the dentist.
Steve-O.
Because he was
She
complaining
actually had
so
to go
bad.
to the dentist because I was complaining so much about her breath. But to be fair, it smelled like you ate a dying raccoon, my
Okay.
love. Okay? But it doesn't all the time.
Steve-O, it has been really nice knowing you.
You know what? I will say,
we
your
are gonna
breath
miss
isn't
you.
always freshy clean in the morning either, Steve-O, okay?
But to be
That's for you,
fair,
Chrissy.
we found out this low-carb diet thing that she's on, when you go into ketosis, there's something about that actually causes keto breath, which smells like a metallic rotting corpse.
Beautiful.
I don't know how to describe
A dead
it.
robot? It smells like
Yes.
a dead robot.
It smells like Johnny Five, but not alive.
Number 5 is not alive.
Yes, not alive. It is dead in her mouth. So,
Chrissy, I'm sorry that you're getting called out on the radio for this.
and stuck in traffic.
no.
Steve-O really would
No,
call
there's
out a girl.
really, 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 really bad wreck on I-40. So
Oh, okay. So see, this is great.
Yeah.
So
Really, really
bad. So worst case scenario is that you have a spouse who has terrible breath. You know what I mean? And then you deal with that because at least you're safe.
And you
know,
talk about it on the air.
until we're dead. Until I'm dead later.
Yeah.
But
Thousands of people
yeah,
are here.
so avoid I-40 both ways because the accident's on both sides.
see,
guys.
Oh,
wow, that's
on
terrible.
both
On
sides?
both
Yeah,
sides.
it's bad.
See?
Yeah,
That is
it's
bad.
really
real
bad. There's about to be an accident later in my home.
Yeah, no
Yes.
kidding.
But,
We've been in so
Yeah,
many
now that
accidents.
I'm out of the traffic jam, I will be right there.
Yeah, I approve that. I approve
Steve-O,
that.
you are on your own, man.
But here's the thing. She Googled it, and it's a real thing. It's real.
It
so
is a real thing.
what
Yeah.
do you do?
Okay,
You
well,
get
hold
a
on.
clothespin
Hold
for
on
your
a second.
nose.
There's a
Okay.
big difference here, okay? Because first off, you've been married for how long?
Almost 16 years.
Okay, now if you're
We
on a
almost
first
made
date,
it 16 years.
It's not going to happen now.
almost made it. If you're on a first date with
Pray
a
for Chrissy.
girl,
She's a widow.
I think it's completely wrong to call somebody out like that on a first date. It's
Okay.
bad manners.
Okay.
You know,
Okay,
it's just
but-
a really terrible thing.
Okay,
to do.
I agree with you to a
Yeah.
degree. But what if carried out? Okay, so that he finishes the date and then never calls her again. Doesn't ever communicate with her again. So that leaves her wondering, should she call him and say, how come we don't have a second date? because you stink. I mean, at some point, is he going to have to communicate that to her or not? Now, I get it. A first date, that's an awkward, that's the whole thing's awkward in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, but honey, would you have rather me just been silent about it and then just never wanted to be within a 10-foot radius of you?
I appreciated the keto breath thing because then I actually asked a couple people that I work with, like, hey, did you smell my breath today? And they were like, yeah, I just thought it was
it's bad.
Coffee, so, but yeah.
It's like that no floss
really
breath.
Oh, yeah, I got
It's like no floss, like dying tooth breath. It's really weird, and I'm not alone. Multiple spouses are chiming in saying, OMG, Steve, I do the same thing to my husband. He is also on keto, and I'm like, please go brush. But it's not that easy because it's like...
How long does a keto breath last?
Forever.
It depends on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah. So here's so that's the pros and cons of keto before you get on keto, guys. All right. Like you get on keto and your body is a wonderland, but ain't nobody coming within 10 feet of it. So it doesn't matter.
Wow.
So
Your body is a wonderland, but your breath is a wasteland.
Yes. Yes, Sam Swan. Honey, that was Sam Swan, not me.
Not Chrissy's breath.
Yeah.
Not Chrissy's breath.
Yeah, because then I'd have to call you out.
Her smells like lavender.
My wife's body is a wonderland. And now I'm like, wait a minute.
See, I'm just saying in general, keto, boy, it just got uncomfortable and I'm out.
Sam's leaving. He's got to go. So, yeah, there you go. The pros and cons of the old diet. But, hey, she calls me out anytime I have any funk whatsoever. So,
that's
good.
good.
I feel
like when I'm filming an Instagram live video and he farts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He farts all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you say fart on the radio?
Yeah, she just did, and she's my wife. So if I get fired, I can go, but you said it.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, yep. But anyway.
Thank you, Chrissy.
I'm glad you're alive.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're alive.
Be careful.
There you go.
Be careful out there.
All right. Bye.
Steve-O's wife, Chrissy.
Yeah, people are saying compost breath does not brush away. So that's a real thing for all you little like keto people right now.
Well, can't they just like chew gum if they
yes.
got it? Does it work? A little bit? That masks it a little bit?
Yeah. Then it's like minty poop. I'm just kidding.
Maybe they should drink some Febreze because it doesn't just mask the odor. It gets rid of it.
So
it eliminates the bacteria that causes the odor.
This is a crazy thing because this is like the craziest fad right now.
Yeah.
Is keto, and I guess one of the results of cutting all of carbs out because it's like a low carb diet is your body starts to use more fat for energy. So think of like fatty.
It's been stored.
Like think of like bacon grease.
Is it like rotted?
I'm not even joking.
No,
like the
grease
smell of
is that what like fat is? And so it's,
it just like bubbles up.
Does it smell kind of like the those grease vats that are out behind restaurants when if you're having to drive around behind the back of it or you like sometimes by the drive-through you can smell that because it's close back there.
So here's what it is actually. One type of ketone because the process generates molecules called ketones, and one of the types of ketones, acetone, which we like nail polish remover. Tends to be excreted in the urine and the breath. And so therefore, if you go into ketosis, that's actually more accurate. It's kind of like this chloroform. And I've passed out like 3 times.
Really? No kidding.
Yes, no kidding. So
wow.
So hey, this can work out if you're suffering from insomnia. Just have Chrissy come up and go.
Have your wife, have your spouse start doing keto.
Sweetheart, I can't sleep right now. Would you just in my face right now?
In fact, in order to not be rude, if that happens from now on, if it's bad, I'm just gonna fall over. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm sure that'll work better.
Idea.
She'll start talking and go.
Actually, nonverbal communication gets across very, very effectively. So that's
here's
perfect.
the thing. We started with this letter, and I'm like, this is why I don't think that this guy was wrong.
I just think it's complete
honesty there.
Okay, but there's honesty, of course, in a marriage. You and Chrissy are best friends.
It is slightly
you're married.
different.
You've
That
been
is slightly
together for a
different.
long time. I just think it's bad manners on a first date for a guy to say something like that to a woman.
Yeah.
Hey, you smell? Come on.
Yeah. He
Bad
could have left
form.
and then texted her. That would have been.
Bad form.
Just
But
kidding.
at the same time, she was glad that he was honest.
Yeah.
And that he didn't waste her time, basically, just being on a date.
And she did say, too, I think I dodged a bullet. I agree. That's a good way to find out that he might not be the the one for you to be in a
See?
relationship with.
Dodging bullets. Somebody said on keto, sounds like the diet loses friends as well as pounds. Talk about losing dead weight, am I right?
Oh, wow.
Your true friends are going to tell you when you got stank breath.
That's
so,
perfect.
Yeah.
All right, if you guys want to chime in, when we come back, phone lines are open, 505-338-3700. We also have a live line you can text in. What's the number?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483.
All right, the topic is, I can't handle fill in the blank.
Nope.
I can't handle what? We're also live on Facebook and YouTube at Star 88 FM. We'll be right back. Hang on.
Whether at home or in the workplace, we're all leaders. Become a better leader in this leadership moment with Craig Groeschel.
Most leaders don't keep star players. And the reality is that sometimes when you've got a star, they go somewhere else for more money, they compete, they don't get along. And if we can keep people working together, the camaraderie and the chemistry that we build over time leads to massively effective organizations. So we want to raise up stars, develop stars, empower stars, and we want them to be able to work together. So it's a really important question you're asking. Most important above anything else is we want to keep the mission central. We want to keep the mission, the why we're doing the what. The why drives the what. We want the why to be center focus for every player all the time. The only win is an organizational win, and we have to communicate that. The only win is an organizational win.
That was Craig Groeschel on a Star 88 Leadership Moment. Hear more at life.church/leadership podcast. Christine Kane challenges us to not just look at those around us, but to see the person as Christ sees them in this Star 88 PowerPoint.
A lot of the transformation in our hearts and in our spirits doesn't happen because we don't really see Jesus. We sing to him. And we love coming to church and it makes us feel good about ourselves. See, we live in the hashtag selfie culture. We don't have a chance to even see the scenery because we're too busy taking a picture of ourselves in the scenery. And so the issue is we are so busy looking at ourselves, wondering about ourselves. We are so narcissistic. We are so self-absorbed. We look at the mirror in ourselves. We want everyone else to look at ourselves. So when we look at Jesus, we're not looking at who he is. We're looking at ourselves and what he can do for us. And we are like Simon saying, if this man was really a prophet, he would know how awesome I am. He would change my life around. And Jesus goes, oh, would you just get your eyes off yourself, get your eyes on me, begin to see me, and you will see a lost and a broken world all around you. We need a generation that will see.
That's Christine Kane on a Star 88 PowerPoint. Here's a solar flare from Jensen Franklin. Forgiveness is not about keeping score. It's about losing count. A Star 88 solar flare.
Mama.
President of the United States, arguing against his own impeachment.
If I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash.
Hurricane Lane now soaking the big island of Hawaii with more than a foot of rain.
Prominent Trump supporter whose company owns the National Enquirer was granted immunity for cooperating with investigators.
20-year-old Molly Tibbetts died from multiple sharp force injuries, according to Iowa State Medical Examiner. They ruled her death a homicide.
An Illinois mom is outraged after she let her child walk their dog alone around the block and found herself under investigation by Child Services.
California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife pleaded not guilty today to charges they used $250,000 in campaign funds for personal expenses.
Ed King of Leonard Skinner and Strawberry Alarm Clock has died. He was 68.
George Clooney is the highest paid actor of 2018. Forbes putting Clooney at the top of their list. His on and off-screen earnings of $239 million.
$239 million. Child's play.
Chump change.
Come on. Welcome to the show, everybody. Friday. Live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Sam Swan hanging out with us. Good to see your face there, buddy.
Yours too.
Good to smell you.
I did take a shower this morning.
Yeah, I can tell. And thanks for chiming in. A lot of people chiming in on Facebook and YouTube Live at Star 88 FM. Phone lines are open, 505-338-3700. And shout out to everybody calling in this week. We've had a really good week of callers. A lot of great phone calls. So shout out to you guys for not just texting in, but picking up the phone and calling us, because I think it's better. You know, we can have a conversation, get to know you. If you've never called the show, be a first-time caller. Chime in. 505-338-3700. Of course, you guys can always text the live line. What's that number, Steve-O?
505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483. Sorry, I'm just really excited right now because Julie is the coolest girl on the planet.
So happy right now.
Look at this, guys. If you're on Facebook or on Instagram,
Oh,
you can't
it's like
see
a
it.
white
Totally,
piece of paper. That's cool.
totally blown out.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Oh, white piece of paper.
There you go. Oh.
So Jean Grey will be getting her tramp stamp on later today.
That tramp,
So,
wait.
You know, when girls have the lower back tattoo, that's basically what you do when
I'm
you
gonna
put
dump
decals.
you can't say
on
that.
when you put decals on the back of
The
your
back
car.
of your car, yeah.
It was approved by Sam Swan.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you know,
Are you allowed to say that?
What, tramp stamp?
that's actually a term. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's real. Lower back tattoo.
It's
It's a bad thing. You don't want one.
It's called slang, Dex.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
not the
sorry.
real thing.
Yes. Yes.
It's not what,
Even better than the real thing. You
it's
too.
a cultural.
All right.
But I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Yes. Yes. Amazing.
Dude, you're one of my favorite human beings
Oh,
on the
Steve-O.
planet.
Thanks, man.
I can't wait to be you in 30 years. Like, when I'm old, I'm like, man, I just look at you and I go, that's going to be me.
Yeah.
That is going
You
to
know
be
what's
me.
funny
No,
about
it's
that
not.
you said? It's funny is that Brenda says every once in a while you'll say something and she goes, I could have heard you say that before
Yes.
he said that.
Oh, man.
There's a little bit of kindred spirit and quirky, same kind of quirkiness that we
Yes.
share. No wonder we
Dude.
get along so well.
Wow,
Sam is like
bromance
the
going
older
on here, guys.
version of me with
Jeez.
Jesus.
Kind of feel like the third
he's
wheel
what
right
I'll
now.
look like when I
Jeez.
find. I'm just kidding.
Steve-O, I
stand
just
over
want to
here.
tell you, it's always a pleasure to be in the studio
Gosh.
with you. I love
Do you
hanging
think
out
I'll
with
ever be like you, Sam?
you. You bring joy to my heart.
Does Brenda ever say anything
A
about
smile
me?
to my
Nah,
face.
you're Matt Gentry in 20 years.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! You know what?
That's just, I think that's worse than telling somebody they stink. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Gentry. In case he's listening.
Oh my gosh!
Brenda likes you too, Dex. She
Don't lie to
does.
me, Sam.
She does.
You're a Baptist.
Yeah, when I'm a lying Baptist.
Oh gosh. Anyway, well, good times. All right.
Yeah. Anyway,
She likes the way you sound on the radio, Dex.
Oh really?
Yeah. She
Oh,
says
that's
you can
cool.
tell he knows what he's doing and he's been doing it a long time. He's very professional.
She's a liar too.
She's not.
I know she's not.
She's a good person.
Before the break, we were talking about this this letter we got. Stormy, remember, went on a date recently, and she's a veterinarian, and her date, in the middle of the date, told her, "Hey, you smell You stink. And I'm going to go. Left the date.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
No. Steve-O says, yeah, that's how you handle those situations. I'm like, no, dude, bad form. You stick it out and be a man. And how dare you disrespect a woman like that? Yes,
Hand
Steve.
raised. Hand raised. Chimed in and said, but here's my thing. If you're going to pull the whole on the first date, it's rude to card, then how about this one? On the first date, it's rude to show up smelling like animal stank. Take a shower maybe before you go on a date. What kind of hygiene is that? Everybody's saying that she dodged a bullet, but maybe so did he.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. At the same
First
time,
date,
though,
bro. You're
hey, man,
putting-
we
like,
don't know
this
all
is
the
it.
details, though. Maybe she was saving an animal's life, and so she didn't have time to go home and change and take a shower.
Dexter,
so
it was bad enough that he had to, like, halfway through go, time out. I'm sorry. You are gross. I have to go. I have to go.
I'm
And it's like, what story could she say?
I'm
like,
sorry.
I'm so sorry, sir. On my way to our first date, a horse went into labor, and
Steve-O.
I was helping
Steve-O.
it.
I'm sorry, but if you're a guy that can't handle a rotting smell or whatever for 2 hours, then you know what? You should never be allowed to go out on another date.
No, because here's the thing on the flip side, Dexter. Why are we wasting our time? Like, you're talking about, like, being the gentleman and sticking it out for, like, 3 hours. You're wasting both of your time. So I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to waste any more of our time. You seem like such a nice person. This isn't going to work out for me. And I just, life's too short. I'm going to go. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go. I'm going to go.
I'm just going to go.
And then you leave.
Bye-bye.
Maybe it's because I may or may not have done that once on a blind date.
Gosh, I could never do that.
It's been so long since I've been on a date with somebody that I didn't already know, like
Right,
my
right, right.
wife, that I couldn't even, I don't even.
I went on.
First of all, I'm
one-
glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Man.
Praise be. Am I
Yeah.
right, Sam?
That's right, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
So
This conversation just took a turn.
Yeah, it did. So I went on one singular blind date in my entire life, and it's why I only went on one, because some mutual friends were like, you guys are going to hit it off and it'd be amazing. And we had nothing in common. We tried talking small talk through the dinner, and it was like weird. And at the end of it, it was like we were supposed to go, I can't remember if we were supposed to go do like putt-putt or another just dumb first date thing that you're supposed to do. And I was like, hey, I don't see us going out again. And I mean, do you want to go do this?
I feel like
and
it's
she was
a little
just like,
different.
nope. Like, she totally was with me, just like, yeah, no, I feel you. Hey, cool.
I feel like
it
it's
was
a little
really nice
different.
meeting
That's
you.
different situation.
Still bought
kind
her
of.
dinner.
I just feel like it's
Peace,
super
I'm
rude
out.
for a guy to say that to a lady. I don't think that that's appropriate to say, hey, you smell. I'm going to go.
Okay.
I think that's bad form.
Sure. Why not?
Why do you keep looking at me, Dex?
To save me.
You-
Have my back.
Save me, Sam.
Have my back.
Somebody says I kind of
I
feel
can
bad
neither
for the girl.
confirm nor deny that that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right. That's fine.
I'm sorry, Steve. I
No,
stepped on you.
Somebody says I feel bad for the girl. I can't imagine how she's feeling right now. How embarrassed she felt, or how sad she feels. I just can't
See,
imagine that
that's what I'm
feeling
worried
of being
about.
told that regardless, regardless of how bad she smelled, the guy should have stuck it out and then just told her,
Thank you.
"Hey, I had fun. I don't think I can see you again," and left it at that. No, because she would probably be like, "Well, but why? I had such a
I
good
think
time."
there's a polite way to tell a woman. I think after the date, there's
okay.
Why not after the date? Be like, hey, just to let you know, just for future
hygiene.
You are a
It's
veterinarian.
important. There's
and
a
I-
reason why in corporations that's in the employee manual. You should shower and shave.
You should, but you don't know the circumstances, Steve.
don't.
No, I'm talking. Put your hand down. Go ahead.
I see that hand.
Here's my question.
I didn't know we were voting.
Yeah. Every time, and Sam, you've been a pastor for 143 years. You have counseled how many people? Like couples? Seven couples.
Thousands.
7 couples in his whole life. When you get a side of a story, is it not always skewed negatively because this girl might have gotten her feelings hurt? So what I'm saying is, we don't know how, quote, rude he was. Maybe he stuck it out through dinner and was like, hey, whatever, dinner, cool. I don't want to go to a movie after this with you because enduring, I don't think he said it like that, but like, who knows? Maybe it was just like, hey, this was great, but clearly I'm not into animals and you have this.
You're a veterinary.
Yes.
And
so I'm going to go. Like, we honestly don't know how he said it, how it was phrased, how rude or not rude he was.
And she's in a way saying a lot of things that you said. She's glad that, he actually, didn't waste her time.
Right.
And just cut the date off.
It doesn't say halfway through dinner. It says, I went out on a date the other night and halfway through the date. And that's exactly what I did on my blind date. Was I went out, we were supposed to do dinner and then some other thing. I don't even remember. It was like 30 years ago, not really long. But after dinner, it was like, clearly there's no connection. It's kind of weird. And our friends try to set us up and I'm good. And she was good and it was good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that halfway through dinner.
And I'm okay with that situation.
We're speculating and making this guy seem like a jerk.
I just think pointing out someone's fault, is especially to a woman, is bad manners, bad form, and it's disrespectful.
So by your logic, according to a Starman member, it's rude to say that you stink, but totally acceptable to lie on your first date.
It's not lying.
Oh,
Why is it
really?
lying?
Because he couldn't handle the funk.
You handle it, but just because you didn't say anything doesn't mean you're lying.
Well, and again, we don't know.
It's not lying.
We don't know the other side of the story.
Yeah, it's true. And so another member started chiming in and said, this lady needs to check out farmersonly.com. They love animal smells.
That's a good call.
Farmersonly.com.
That was a great call.
Did you hear that lovely singing voice, by the way? Did you hear
love
that?
the That's
nice.
Man, no, he's got a great singing voice. The other night, check this guy out. We're at the Isotopes game.
He did the
and
national
now, would
anthem?
you please rise and gentlemen, remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem. Today we have these dudes from that church group that are all singing together in harmony.
The New Mexico singing churchismen, yeah.
Really, man?
Yeah.
No joke. And he totally crushed the national anthem at Isotopes Park.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either, and I was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were a singer.
I'm a singer.
The best part is Chrissy even said, those guys were great. And I'm like, weren't they? And then like later that night, he posted an Instagram, and I'm like, you're here?
Yeah. So we met up after the.
Didn't even know it was Sam.
That's hilarious.
He crushed it. It was great.
Yeah, I was with a group of folks. That group is that we call ourselves the New Mexico Singing Churchmen, and it's a group of Baptist staff guys, mostly music guys, worship leaders, but there's a couple of pastors, and there's like me, youth pastor type guys that sing also. And the only requirement is that you're on staff at a Baptist church, and then you don't have to audition or anything. You're just part of the group, and then we do about 4 concerts a year at different parts of the state, and sometimes sing at the annual meeting that the annual convention meeting that we have. In fact, next week, Monday and Tuesday, is our annual retreat where we learn some new music, and then we put on a concert Tuesday night. In fact, Tuesday night, I can't remember the time. Tuesday night, the concert is at First Baptist Rio Rancho.
Oh, okay.
And so we're putting on a concert. You guys should come.
That would be awesome.
If you like men's choir.
Yeah.
And these are either hymn arrangements or contemporary praise chorus arrangements for men's choir.
Get
and
it?
I know
Men's choir hymn arrangements?
Yeah, it's kind of very good. It is kind of nerdy. It is. You have to like choral music.
Yeah.
But we also do
Under
some.
the sea. I love choral music.
Yes, it's it's time to wave goodbye.
Oh my gosh.
We've run ashore already. But if you like that, you should come to First Baptist Rio Rancho. I wish I could think of the time of the concert.
That's okay.
I'll
I'm
look
sure
it up
we
on an
can.
email that I have, and maybe I'll have the schedule. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. We have some corporate worship that we lead the congregation in, so they're not just sitting the whole time. And I actually have a solo, kind of a big solo in one of the songs.
Can you give us a little taste?
That we do.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, give us a little.
No, I'm not going to give you a little taste.
Don't be shy.
I don't have it memorized. I don't have my sheet music in front of me. So that would be really cool if folks who like that kind of music, and because it's like a night of praise, basically. First Baptist Rio Rancho. I'll look up this email and see if I can find the time. Oh, 7 p.m. Danae just texted me. She's
Perfect.
7 p.m. at First Baptist Rio Rancho. the New Mexico Singing Churchmen will be presenting a concert.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love this.
So that'd be great.
Should put it on the wire.
But we should.
I know.
Yeah.
Heidi, get this on the wire now.
Now.
Go turn on the radio quick.
Thanks,
40-second delay. 40-second delay. Turn on the radio.
Do it.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's a blast, man. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Singing with those guys because there's it's a chance for us to kind of hang out and laugh and giggle and stuff. But then we also get to do this concert and sing praise music and.
Oh wait, hold on.
worship God.
Somebody just sent us. I think I have recording of Sam and the choir. Hold on.
I didn't know you was gonna start out with.
Is this you, Sam?
Looking for a city built above. Looking for a city where I'll never die.
I don't know about this one, Sam.
The saint in millions never say goodbye.
Brenda sent me this.
We'll meet our Savior.
I don't know about this one, Sam. I don't know if this is what you need to be doing.
It was last year's concert. This is a totally different song. We won't be singing this one on Tuesday night.
Looking for a city where I'll never die.
Easy.
It's a little improv there. That wasn't written in the music. I just felt that.
Never say goodbye.
Sam, you're belting it. AGT, here we come.
Holy Spirit, our homes renewed.
All right, I'm out. Sam, you're the worst singer I've ever heard in my entire life.
Hold on.
You're terrible.
Time out. How did you do that?
How did you
Dex?
find that, dude? That is hilarious. I'm dying over here.
That was like improv. We weren't even going there, and then I mentioned.
No, somebody sent me that. They're like, I actually have audio of Sam. I'm a big fan of their choir, and I record everything.
Oh my gosh, dude.
My sides are killing me right now.
It sounds. You know what? If it's not you, it sounds just like you.
It does not. I don't know why you say that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I've got my Savior.
We have to go to break, so we're gonna just play the whole thing one more time. Maybe we need to listen a little bit closer. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Looking for a city built above.
They told me they destroyed that
Looking for a city where I'll never die.
Okay.
The concert will be much better, I promise. I promise.
You guys want to be honest? You guys want to be honest? I'm just being honest. You're the worst singer I've ever heard, Sam, and I'll never go see you perform.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That was
That was great.
my absolute
That was
favorite
so
thing.
great.
Hey, well done on that timing.
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, it wasn't
Dexter.
me, man.
Gosh, dude.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We're live from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hang out.
This is Groundwire with Sean Dunn.
In front of 80 students, I reached in my pocket and pulled out a $20 bill. Spontaneously, I asked who wanted it. To my surprise, only 5 out of the 80 said that they wanted it. I was shocked. I ended up giving it to a young girl in the second row, and we went on with the evening. On my drive home, I came to a conclusion. 75 of those students did not think that such a small amount of money was very precious. If I would have held up a briefcase filled with $100 bills and offered to give it away, I would have received a different response. Why? Because they would have seen it as valuable. The Amplified version of the Bible declares in Matthew 12:11 that those who are passionate for God will seize him as if he were a precious prize. But based on the way that many people approach God, they do not consider him to be all that precious. Or they enjoy certain Christian settings that benefit their life, but many do not run after God or long to spend time with him. Don't be one of those people who's satisfied with the dull and boring faith. Take time to pursue him, and you will see that there really is nothing more precious.
To find out more, click on groundwire.net. Groundwire.net.
Tony Evans. This is a Star 88 Supernova.
Too tired to pray? Too distracted to read your Bible? You have to drag yourself to church. That's because you're dealing with an empty soul. You have grown spiritually weary. And no matter how hard you look, you can't find God. You read the Psalms, most of which written by David, and you see a man who is regularly spiritually drained. Oh, my soul, he says in Psalm 42, why are you so disquieted within me? Oh, my soul, why are you so dry? Desert, as the deer pants after a water brook, looking for something to quench its thirst, so my soul looks for you.
That was Pastor Tony Evans on a Star 88 Supernova. This is KLYT Albuquerque, Santa Fe, rebroadcast on KKCJ Cannon Air Force Base, KPKJ Mintmore, K201CC Las Cruces, K203EZ Alamogordo, K207CQ Gallup, K211CW Hobbs, K212EH Silver City, K214DE Antonito, K218AK Artesia, K250AB Roswell, K293AO Alamosa, K228DQ Portales, in the free app for iOS and Android, and online at star88.fm.
thanks to you.
This country moves.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
We keep things moving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this next and final song is going to be one that has made me pretty famous over the last few years. It has took me a lot of places I didn't think I would be at. But it was the first time on stage, New Year's Eve 2002, with one of the best quartets out there today, Brian Free and Assurance. And I was privileged to be able to sing this one. And but ever since then, we've had competitions.
This is Sam
of wearing
Swan,
out.
guys.
No, it is not.
This is live from
Not
his
to
Baptist church.
Make me look good or anything, but
Here in
that's
Albuquerque?
what happened. But this is one that also my friends at my hometown
Sam, you
church,
just talk
Gospel
and
Light
talk
Baptist
and
Church
talk.
in
Let's get to the
Salisbury, North
song.
Carolina, has really made their top choice. So therefore, we're going to finish off with this one. It's called "Looking for a City."
All right, Sam Swan, everybody. Gotta find that tempo.
I didn't know you was going to start out with it. Looking for a city built above.
Guys, you really have to go to YouTube and just type in worst church singer ever. It is the worst thing you'll ever hear in your life. Like, I thought this was like a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's
No.
like real.
This is real. And now I just feel bad.
That's a church.
How can you feel bad? Like, someone needs to step up and be like, no.
I think if
Really? Much like the dude on the date.
I think if he would
Who had to
stand
stand
up,
up.
if he would stand up so he could have better breath support. Key change.
Worst church singer ever is what you type in at YouTube, and it'll pull up.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I just
guys.
wish we were judgier.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Dex, Steve-O, Sam Swan, live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling, Star 88 Studios. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. What's going on?
We're looking for a city.
Looking for a city. That's right, man. You guys can chime in 505-338-3700. All right, we got to talk about something pretty serious. I don't know if you heard in our little 60-second headline minute thing we do of news this morning about this mom who's in a little bit of hot water over allowing her 8-year-old to walk around the block.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a different time. A very different time. Unfortunately, this week, we've seen a lot of tragedy. I don't know how many of you guys were following the jogger who went missing. I mean,
so sad.
For like a month, right? They were searching for her
For the last month,
and sadly, they found her body because the accuser, if you will, the guy, came forward and said, "Yeah, hey, I did this." Molly Tibbetts, 20 years old. And
20 years old.
Yeah, dude,
Oh my
Iowa student. She went out for a jog. I guess this guy saw her jogging and followed her and took her. And then murdered her and like stashed her in a cornfield.
To hear the
And it's like-
details of him explaining like why and how he did it, you're sitting there going, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Just straight up evil.
Yeah. So we live in this culture where we read and we see everything, and so because of that, everyone is on guard. But where's the line, or is there a line? Here's the headline. Mother says call to authorities should have never gotten that far after letting her 8-year-old daughter walk alone. So here's the story. A mother in Illinois says she's shocked, she's angry, and she's fearful of her neighborhood now after being investigated by state child services because a neighbor called the cops to report an 8-year-old walking a dog around the block by herself. The mom said, "When I found out what the call was about, I just couldn't believe it." End quote. This was on Good Morning America. I guess the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services investigated the mother after a concerned caller reported that a kid was, quote, 5 years old or less, walking alone in the neighborhood. The caller also stated that they had called the police in the past to report this girl playing in the parking lot by herself. The mom is, of course, outraged. because she said the call should have never gotten as far as it was. The initial call was for an unattended 5-year-old, and once they know I don't even have a 5-year-old, it should have stopped there. I don't think it should have made it past the hotline that a little girl walking her dog needs an investigation. She says her daughter was expecting a friend to come over for a play date after taking the family pup for a walk around the block. Instead, the police showed up. So this mom homeschools her kids, and Dorothy, her daughter, wanted to be more responsible and have some independence. And so she said, all right, well, you want more independence? You can walk the puppy. So this 8-year-old girl walked the dog around the block, and the authorities were called because somebody saw this little girl walking by herself with a dog. But where do we stand on this one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, thinking about it, honestly,
where did it happen? I'm sorry.
In Illinois. It's in a...
in a city?
Is it like a small town?
I think it's absolutely not okay for an 8-year-old to walk a dog around the block or play outside by themselves.
Mom says every 8-year-old is different, every neighborhood is different, every parent is different, so you can't make an overall judgment like that. Dex.
Okay, hold on a second. All right. We just did a story about a 20-year-old who got kidnapped and brutally murdered.
Right.
Now we're talking about an 8-year-old. Like, well, my kids, they're teenagers, and every time we ask them to walk the dog, I get this, like, feeling in my gut, like, gosh, man, I should and times I go with them. Other times I haven't gone with them, but it's so easy for somebody that is evil and has bad intentions, that lives at the apartment complex, or that just is driving by and sees a child, whether they're a teenager or not, to drive up and kidnap that person. We see it all the time. Kids get kidnapped all the time here.
Well, and it's a hot button issue right now because in May there was a law signed by Utah Governor Gary Herbert that went into effect that legalized, quote, free-range parenting, meaning children can do things like traveling alone to school, walking the dog unsupervised, things like that. But
they had to pass a law for that?
They had to pass a
to
law
let that
for that.
happen.
To let that happen, because this is what we're seeing more and more is children walking around and then people calling the authorities saying, there's a child outside. So, of course, this reignited all of the arguments about free-range parenting. And essentially, if you don't know free-range parenting, it's the concept that limits parental supervision. It encourages children to function independently, to go be free, and the parents kind of are limited in their,
a kid walking the dog around the block is not free-range parenting. That's a kid walking the dog around the block.
Yeah. The mom says she can see the daughter through the window during a majority of the walk. She's homeschooled. The mom takes care of her all of the time. This is the only time that she is allowed to be, quote, alone. So, of course, the mother's freaking out. But, I mean, on the flip side, a lot of the neighborhood was freaking out because this little girl, 8 years old, walking by herself. And I'm like,
all right, I have a question for you.
8 might be a little young.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you lived up in the woods. You had a cabin. It's where your family lived. And you knew there was a cougar, a grizzly bear that lived close by. Would you let your 8-year-old kid walk around the dog without parental permission? Would you allow them to do that?
If
I'm being
you
serious.
knew a cougar or a bear lived by.
Answer the question.
No!
Thank you. There's evil people all around. You don't know where they live. No, think about that for a second.
Wouldn't the
there are
mountain lion,
murders everywhere.
The mountain lion would eat the dog first.
Oh, my gosh.
The mountain lion would eat the dog
I'm kind of
first.
blown away right now because there are evil people everywhere. Okay,
Right.
so you're saying you'd be okay with your 8-year-old daughter to walk the dog around the block where you can't see her most of the time.
Oh no, I would.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm not saying I would allow my child to do this.
There
but
are monsters everywhere,
she was
bro.
investigated by the police because this lady who called CYFD wasn't satisfied because the cops came. Nobody was arrested or anything. They left, and so that lady waited it out. And sure enough, waiting. Girl goes back outside. She called the authorities again, and it's like.
Here's the thing. I get it. 8 and 5. The girl said that 5-year-old. But that's kind of hard to tell whether
Brody is a 5-year-old.
I know, but still, it's like, is there any difference if it's an 8-year-old or a 5-year-old?
When I was 8 years old, I got on my bicycle and I rode from one side of Nellis Air Force Base all the way over to the other side. And I mean, I was a little kid, so it was a long way. And I haven't been on Nellis Air Force Base in years.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was probably 3 or 4 miles from where I live.
Yeah.
We lived over here, and I went all the way past all the flight line and everything to this housing area over here. It was a long ways.
To be
and
fair,
back.
Yeah. I understand where Dex is coming from.
I do. I
just
totally
because,
do.
like, his little brother, when they were younger and it was really rainy, Dex built this sailboat for his little brother, but he wasn't feeling well, so he didn't go out with him. Yeah. And his little brother was, like, going along the little ravine area with the sailboat. And then, sure enough, a clown ate him. So
he's dead.
It was,
He died.
Georgie is no longer with him.
My kids never leave the house, especially when it rains.
Well, if
That's
it's
a movie!
But if it's about if that's what it is about, then
How do you know what that was from there, Baptist?
Yeah.
I watch movie trailers.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
Listen, clowns are creepy enough.
Yeah,
They don't have to climb out of the sewer to scare me.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hear
they're
you,
already
man.
creepy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
People want to do clown ministry? No,
Right,
no,
no,
not in my
no.
church.
So, so what you're saying is that you think it's
acceptable?
No, not okay that this mom is in trouble or being investigated.
I don't
by
think
the
it's
police?
worthy of the law being involved.
Okay,
I don't think that's the wisest thing to do. I think it's a lack of wisdom. It is not. It shouldn't be illegal. That is ridiculous that it's illegal.
That they had to pass
That
a
they had to pass a law in
Utah.
Utah for me to let my kid walk a half a block and go play in the park by themselves, even if I can see them.
Yeah.
That's just, and they call that free range. That's not free range parenting. That's sometimes my kids have to get out of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're driving me crazy.
And
my
I
mom
think-
used to say, "Go outside and play. You're driving me crazy."
Oh man, yeah. As long as I was back, like before street lights came on,
Yeah.
like it was good. We would go. Man, I lived up off Central Tramway area, the Four Hills area. We would go into the mountains,
Yeah.
like.
Now, granted, it is a little different day. I will
It
say
is.
this. I will say this. There were child abductions back in those days.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think it's a different day. I think there were monsters back then.
We just didn't get. It just didn't get the attention that it gets
Because
now.
there was we didn't have the internet back then.
Right.
You know?
It's always been a problem and will always be a problem. And 8 years old is a little young.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 8 years old is a little young, but it's not a crime. It is not a crime.
Do you guys remember Adam Walsh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how that.
He disappeared in what year?
Oh gosh, 1981.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the kid on the milk carton?
He was abducted from a Sears department store, and unfortunately, they found his head 2 weeks
my
later.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And his dad,
Started the
John
whole-
Walsh,
yeah.
started America's Most Wanted because of that.
wow.
That's how America's Most Wanted
Was
got
launched.
started.
No way.
Yeah.
Because his son was murdered.
Yeah.
And so this was a 6-year-old boy who was with them at a department store in Sears. He was abducted in 1981. So it's like, I agree that it's not necessarily a different time. Sin is sin and evil is evil. And it's horrible. I think it's just we live in the internet culture where we hear about everything instantaneously. It hits the wire and we know more. So we have more knowledge, quote unquote, if you will. But so I don't know, because I remember being a kid, same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what's so tough
Is there
about
an
it.
age?
That's what's
Is there
so
a certain
tough.
age where you go, yeah, this is
Because
fine. 12,
because some
this
kids,
is cool.
there's some 12-year-olds I wouldn't trust to go out by themselves.
But that's the thing. You know, I'm looking at my daughter. She's 14. My oldest is 16, and Landon's 13. So, I mean, they could get kidnapped just as easy as an 8-year-old
Right.
could get kidnapped.
Right.
And I let them go out and, you know, walk around the block or walk to school. Jaden actually her and her friends almost got kidnapped. Recently, there was a truck that tried to steal a bunch of kids, and my daughter was near that, was right behind the kids that were
Wow.
about ready to get kidnapped. They were trying to lure kids in
Yeah.
with like ice cream and candy.
Yeah.
Come to find out, they were like people trying to kidnap these kids. It can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you just not allow your kids to ever go out without a parent?
Phone lines are jammed. People are like, everybody's got a
Yeah,
pin.
yeah, yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, it's Vince. How you doing, fellas?
Oh, dude. Perfect. For those who don't know,
Hey.
Vince is like head of security, scariest, bestest man I know. Please just stay with my car forever because I just got it this week and I don't want it to be gone. Please.
Terrible, isn't it? Sorry about
Yes!
your cars, fellas.
Yeah.
The crooks are everywhere.
They are. They are.
So, Hey, so as far as this subject's concerned, I mean, we create fear amongst our, the public. It's instant gratification on the media, right? Instant video enhancement, instant lapel cams with law enforcement. I think we gotta teach. If you have an 8-year-old, there's no law against leaving your kids alone. There isn't. It's really the age of maturity. So the police officer cannot charge somebody for. Now, if the kid is 5 years old and you leave him in a running car and the car starts moving and the kid puts it in drive, then that's negligence. But an 8-year-old, my boys were homeschooled. They were taught for situational awareness. They were taught to be safe, to be aware of their surroundings, and I think that's what we got to teach the kids, not fear. I mean, all this stuff in the media is creating fear, and I agree that there was no crime committed, and this lady was just the Gladys of the neighborhood that was being nosy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, this is such a tough thing because I'm just sitting here, Vince, just thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, you can teach your kids how to handle situations, but when you're 8 years old and a adult man pulls up in a truck, how is that kid supposed to fight off an adult? You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's kind of hard. There's I get the whole fear thing, and you want your kids to have fun and have a childhood, but at the same time, millions and millions of kids every day go missing because it's so quick and easy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. We're in a different society, right? I mean, people are more violent. There's more addiction to sin and porn than ever, and there are some evil people out there. But I can tell you honestly, only I think it's the statistics are that only 6% of pedophiles have criminal records.
Oh, wow.
So you don't even know who they are around your neighborhood. So the reality is teaching your kids awareness, not to be fearful. If the child's with a dog, now, and I mean, obviously, I would go to a scene, and if a child was left by themselves in a vehicle, we had that happen at our campus. A child was left in the car. The parent went inside to drop off the smaller child. The child that was left in there was about 10, 11 years old, was mature enough to lock the doors, to call 911. I mean, that's a much different story.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the situation and depends on the child's maturity.
Yeah. Good
But
stuff, man.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your topics. Outstanding, and thank you for all that you do.
Dude, thank you, Vince, for all you do.
Yeah, thanks,
See you,
man.
man.
Bye-bye.
Good dude right there.
So here's what's crazy. We're talking about this and how, we're terrified today, but a member of the Starmy chimed in and said, my classmate, Billy Senna, disappeared when I was in the 7th grade. He and his cousin are still talked about today. I looked it up, and sure enough, I hadn't heard the story. 1979 this happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow.
Him and his cousin, 11 years old, were walking. They were walking by themselves to the post office. Whew, gone.
Yeah.
See,
To
man,
this day,
it can happen
1979.
so quick.
Still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
All these years later, it was 4'8", 65 pounds at the time, 11 years old, and they still don't know what happened to him.
Man.
He was a 6th grader at Truman Middle School at the time of his disappearance, and his cousin was a 4th grader. Yeah. Their case still remains unsolved. So it's not that it is a new thing. It's just like we said, people are getting more knowledge and seeing more of these situations more and more and more. And so it begs the question, what do we do? Because somebody did have an interesting point that we're so judgmental of parents producing snowflakes, but then we're also so judgmental of free range parents. So it's like nobody wins.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you are babying your child, and they're never going to be free, and they're never going to learn how to make a decision.
What if my child went missing? What if I was like, okay, with my 8-year-old walking the dog around the block, and then someone kidnapped her?
Yeah.
How would I feel then?
I mean, dude, personally, I'll tell you right now, if Brody, because he's only 5, he's almost 6 years old. When he's 8 years old, is he going to walk the dog by himself around the block? Dude. Bleep no.
Right? No.
I want to cuss. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the concern of the neighbor seeing an 8-year-old walking by themselves because, yes, dude, there are a lot of evil people in the world. But how do we handle this? What do we do? Because like Sam said, growing up, I grew up in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and man alive, was that a terrifying place to live sometimes. and we were quote unquote free range. We rode our bikes everywhere, man. Blockbuster was clear across town, and if we wanted to rent a movie, my mom would be like, "Well, go rent a movie.
Right.
Here's a couple bucks."
It's
and we would ride our bikes.
Isn't it kind of
miles?
It's kind of a gamble as a parent to let. It's almost like getting struck by lightning. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often. You know, but you're kind of gambling. My
so
kids
what
are
you're
gonna
saying
be
is
fine.
you're giving your child like a
little
metal
bit.
rod and having him stand outside in a thunderstorm.
Basically, you're like,
Here, sweetheart, take this golf club outside. Just stand outside.
stand out
the
there. Just stand
statistics
out there.
say, okay, it's most likely not going to happen to my child until it happens to your child.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like teenage drivers. You know, we take a risk when we start allowing them to learn to drive and drive by themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, all kinds of crazy drivers out there, including some of the teenage drivers.
That's why this is so hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Always in the back of my head as a parent, when I allowed Jaden to walk the dog and she's 14, it's like, okay, I'm taking a gamble that nothing's going to happen. Yeah. I trust the neighborhood that she's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, guys, it's Nick. How are you?
Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So I think you guys got it right. It's not that things are worse now than they ever were. It's just that we've got a 24-hour news cycle that needs to be filled. So everything that happens, we know about it immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not that it's happening more often or more frequently. My mom freaks out because I let my kids play outside in my front yard. But my mom and my siblings were raised in the Bay Area. And they would leave at the when the sun came up and come home when it was dark.
Eesh.
And so I think it's just that we have a 24-hour news cycle that needs to get filled.
Yeah.
That was a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh.
So things haven't changed so much. It's just that we know everything now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have daughters. I mean, I have all boys, and I'm going, I still am fearful and, like, wanting to, like, not let them.
Well, and
you know.
I mean, I don't know. Our neighborhood is, we live in a gated community, and our community is literally like a block wide or whatever.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference too. We don't, it's not that gate probably offers a lot of false assurances, I'm sure, but their assurance is just the same. So I'm comfortable letting my kids out to walk the dog around the block or to play with the neighborhood kids because of that gate. So, I mean, I don't know. It might be different if we lived in a neighborhood that wasn't gated off or fenced in or what have you.
It's tough. It's tough, Nick, because Steve-O read that story about that 20-year-old jogger. She was just out, was she jogging?
Jogging.
Yeah. And all of a sudden this guy saw her and he probably didn't
Circled her
even
with his
live
car a couple
maybe he
times.
didn't even live in that neighborhood or something, or maybe he did.
Right,
But he was driving by and then all of a sudden he's going, you know what?
I'm going to take this girl.
I'm going to take her.
Gosh.
So it's one of those things. It's a gamble.
It is, and I mean, it is. I mean, it's scary, but we just have to choose not to live in fear.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that doesn't excuse not using wisdom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can't be
of course, we need
negligent.
to take precautions and stuff, and not be ridiculous because I'm not going to live in fear, so I'm going to go out and do all the things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm getting a can of mace
where's the
for
happy
Jaden.
medium, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a can of mace. Or
Seriously.
David doesn't like for me to go out running without the dog, which is funny because that makes it sound like I go out running, but I don't. However, if I were to go out running, he prefers that I take the dog with me.
Thanks for your honesty.
Hey, Nick. Hey, I know I'm a day late here, but on air, happy birthday. We love you.
Love you, Nick.
Thanks, guys. It's great turning 30.
I know 30's so great, right?
I thought you were 23.
I
thought you were 23.
So much the
30
best.
was so
yeah,
great.
so great. Yeah, 30. 30 again. I love it.
Again, 30 again.
30 again. So great.
Severalth times.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Love you.
Beautiful. See you, Nick.
Love you too. Bye.
All right.
That's awesome.
So here's the thing, man. She said she lives in a gated community, but I have a really good friend who lived in a gated community, and things still went awry. All right, him and his whole family lived in this gated community, and they thought they were safe from the walkers and everything. And then this guy Negan shows up, right? And they just start they just barrel through everything, and they still killed a bunch of people.
And they're hungry.
And so I'm just saying, gated communities don't always equal safety, okay? Especially
Zombies
in the
can
zombie
get
apocalypse.
through
Yes,
gates.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Be cautious.
I'm here. I'm with you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for chiming in, Star Army. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube Live at Star 88 FM.
I have about 100 comments to read from.
We'll get to those when we come back. Hang out with us.
Hey, are you stoked about the future? If you're not, maybe it's time for an attitude change. James McDonald has one coming your way, so listen up.
Let me just ask you, how often are you standing over milk that's been spilled, asking God to bring deliverance, and you haven't even done the things that God said to do yet? Come on, God, deliver me, deliver me. Did you do what God told you to do? But it's so hard right now, I need deliverance. Did you do what God told you to do? Because I think so often we're harsh in our assessment of what God has done when we haven't even done the thing that God has asked us to do.
You're listening to James McDonald and Listen Up. You can hear more from Pastor James and the series called I Am, Finding Your Identity in God at walkintheword.org. Listen Up is a production of Walk in the Word.
This solar flare is from John Wesley. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. Star 88 with a solar flare.
I'm captivated, I say it, I'm on a whole new retreat. My space invaded, upgraded, I hear you talking to me. It's in the boom of the thunder, it's in the cool of the rain. And I'll say, I don't ever wanna get away. Tonight is beautiful, it's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. My soul's awakened, I'm taken by all the beauty you bring. You got it blaring, I'm staring, love watching you do your thing. There's no mistaking your style, no mistaking your touch. I see the grand, I see the subtle of your love. Lord, I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. It's finding me in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. Tonight is beautiful, it's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. From the sparkle in her eyes to the starlit open skies, you bring my heart to life, fill me with wonder. I see you in everything, all day, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. Oh, I can see your love in everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything. Yeah, I can see your love in everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything.
Here is the Star PowerPoint from Billy Graham. We're just going to shut up and let him preach it.
I read about a daughter of a poor widow. She left home to go out into sin. For 3 years she was gone, and when she came back, stumbling back, having been beaten up by her boyfriend, she came to the back door and expected it to be locked, but it was open, and she opened the door and she went in, and her mother was sitting there reading the Bible, and she said, "Mother, I never expected to find the door open. Are you here? And the mother said, my darling, ever since that night you walked out, that door has been open. God stands ready to forgive. You see, God doesn't have to get ready for you to repent. He doesn't have to get ready for you to come to the cross. He doesn't have to get ready for you to be forgiven. But thou art a God ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and in great kindness, the scripture said. God's ready right now. He's standing here with open arms and saying, Jim, Bill, Susie, Mary, come.
Star 88, Star Power Boy.
Hey, what's going on in the news today?
The President of the United States arguing against his own impeachment.
If I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash.
Hurricane Lane now soaking the big island of Hawaii with more than a foot of rain.
Prominent Trump supporter whose company owns the National Enquirer was granted immunity for cooperating with investigators.
20-year-old Molly Tibbetts died from multiple sharp force injuries, according to Iowa State Medical Examiner. They ruled her death a homicide.
An Illinois mom is outraged after she let her child walk their dog alone around the block and found herself under investigation by Child Services.
California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife pleaded not guilty today to charges they used $250,000 in campaign funds for personal expenses.
Ed King of Leonard Skinner and Strawberry Alarm Clock has died. He was 68.
George Clooney is the highest paid actor of 2018. Forbes putting Clooney at the top of their list. His on- and off-screen earnings of $239 million.
Good morning. What's going on, guys? Dex, Steve-O, Sam Swan. Live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. This morning at 7, we had Danny from Gospel for Asia on. If you missed it, you should go back on YouTube or Facebook Live or on demand and get caught up and find out what's happening over in the little tip of, I guess, the southern tip of Asia. What was the name of that village down there? The state, I guess? Like the name of the state, right?
Cayenne Pepper.
Cayenne Pepper, yes.
Yes.
They're close, yeah. But there was some flooding, and, man, there's millions. They say like 1 million people displaced. Most of them lost everything.
It's in the Kerala region.
Yeah, it's insane. And so Gospel for Asia, they do some amazing work. They provide humanitarian assistance, and so they're trying to make sure the people have clothes, are fed, and now they're dealing with diseases in the water. So it's nasty right now. So if you can jump on board and help, all the information we posted to our Facebook page. Go back, listen to the interview we had with Danny. It's eye-opening, man. Really is. Now we're looking at hurricane season. Just praying that, man, Haiti usually, right? Haiti's a place that gets hit pretty hard usually. Hawaii, we're looking at a hurricane right now in Hawaii. What are some other spots? I guess New Orleans, I mean, all those places, all around the country.
Any of the coastal.
Yeah. Every season, man, I'm like, why do people live in those areas? Like, why would you live in Tornado Alley? Is it the same thing we're talking about? Kind of the gamble?
Maybe. I mean, I can understand why people would live on the coast. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you live on the beach or
Florida's
near the beach
got the
or
best
whatever.
Beaches.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so beautiful.
South Carolina, all that whole eastern sea, that's all beautiful.
Yeah, it's taking a risk,
Yeah.
You know what?
But you're right. Tornado Alley, I've often wondered.
Yeah.
Why would you live there? That's where tornadoes come, and I've seen it. It's green.
Yeah.
And there's some trees.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like, just move 100 miles north.
Yeah.
Or south.
I used to say the same thing to my parents growing up in Montana in the wintertime when it was 20 below zero and you couldn't even see the highway and it was just freezing outside. Why did you choose here?
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't understand. But, some people just, I guess, they like what they like.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. This is home. This is the family land we inherited.
Right.
My family got this in the land rush, the great land rush.
Oh,
We're going to keep it.
I mean, think about our boy Double J. He's the morning show host now out in Hawaii. You're telling me if they called us up and said, hey, we're looking for 2 other Albuquerque people to do a morning show in Hawaii. Yeah, see, Dex is already
Dex
gone.
is already
Dex
gone. He's
left.
out.
He left. He's gone. He was wearing board shorts under his pants. He just took them off. So,
Not the board
I'm
shorts.
never coming
Took off his
back.
pants.
Yeah.
He left the board shorts on.
Waiting for Double J to hit me back.
I wondered why there was a surfboard on top of your car out there.
I sent
Dex.
him my resume and my air check, and I still haven't heard anything yet. But
So exactly. Of course you would.
you're right.
I've actually never been to Hawaii, so I don't know if I would.
I haven't
never
either,
have
but
either.
I would love it.
I hear it's really expensive.
I don't care. I'll
Okay.
live in my car. Wait, how am I gonna get my car there?
I'm not sure, but
Right.
I've heard it's surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is that
Yeah.
true? Is that really true?
I see, and that sounds cool until I think about it for 8 seconds, and then I'm freaking out.
But I'm
No,
like,
there's a thing. I think they call it.
I am on an island.
They
That's
call
right.
it island fever, and so
Yeah.
some people get claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I probably would, because
Yeah.
I started getting like shaky inside. Like
Like just to think,
shaky
just
and
to think, like
nervous.
you have to get back home to America. I mean, it's
Yeah.
America, but I mean, you got to go
To the mainland.
to the
over
mainland.
the ocean, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a cheap trip either.
No.
You know, to fly to Hawaii or back home.
And I suppose technically the United States is surrounded by water too.
You know what? Good call.
I mean,
Why aren't you
Okay.
freaking out over that?
Okay, bro.
so North America
We
is
live
technically
in
a
the
giant
Oh my God.
island.
I'm getting anxiety. I'm getting anxiety right now. I'm freaking out.
that is a stretch.
And if you've ever been to Elephant Butte, that's kind of like being on an island.
No,
the
yeah,
butte itself
yeah.
is an island,
Gosh,
although no man is an island.
that is hilarious.
See, if I could look across the island and see the other side,
Yeah.
then I could understand
Yeah.
island fever. But Hawaii's like, come on. Even the small islands, you can't do that.
I'd love to go to Hawaii.
Me too. You want to go?
I'd love to, yeah.
All right,
Let's go.
You, me, Brenda. Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
That's awkward.
It'd be great. No, it'd be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
It'd be a
great.
blast.
Steve-O, you want to come? Christy?
Family, 3 family vacations.
There you go.
The Jeters, Dex, and the Swans.
I'll probably just stay there. I don't think I'd come back.
Okay.
You know, that's the thing. I do love me.
But see, that's the beauty of the internet. You could do your show from Hawaii.
That is true.
But then you'd no longer be the only local.
But they would never
morning
know.
show.
Remember, the Stormy said, I hear it's really nice this time of year. Besides the volcanoes and hurricanes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
But the good news is
I've
the
seen Lost.
hurricane could put out the volcano,
Oh, maybe
cool
that's-
off the lava.
See?
It's
God,
just God working
God's got
out
a plan,
his
man. God's got a plan.
Can you go barefoot in Hawaii? Because it's nothing but lava rock, right? Wouldn't it cut up your feet
Yeah,
as you're
yes.
walking around?
That's exactly right. That is exactly
I've
right.
seen the Valley of Fire between Carrizozo and San Antonio, New Mexico. That's lava rock. That's just Hawaii with water. I mean, without water.
The funny thing is, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about like our judgment calls. We're making judgment calls here, whether it's to let our kids play outside, whether it's to live in Tornado Alley. Because another member Stormy just said, yeah, right, people in Tornado Alley listening to you guys are probably like, Albuquerque, #1 in car thefts. Why would you ever live there?
Great call.
And it's true.
Yeah, my
Like, we
car
were
may get
affected by
stolen,
that
but
this
I'm not
week.
going to get sucked into a whirling wind vortex
Yeah,
and
but-
sent through a telephone pole
Yeah, but
head
that
first.
sounds like a much cooler way to die than a thief stole my catalytic converter and I
well.
couldn't stop my car and it,
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, that's true.
just
Maybe
saying.
so.
Dex
true.
almost died this week,
I
guys.
did.
There were actual car thieves in our parking lot this week, and there was
Sam.
video surveying. They were surveying
Really?
my car, and then
they actually stole my catalytic converter
Off your car.
off my car. They sawed it off.
Is that worth money?
Yeah, because it has copper and a bunch of other precious,
Drug
minerals
addicts.
in there.
Why are pennies worth more? If people are like crackheads are stealing a bunch of copper, like wouldn't they just look at a bunch of pennies and be
All
like,
right, I have an idea.
"Dude, this is copper."
I have an idea. Well, let's
being
just.
serious.
I'm with you.
They're crackheads.
It's formulating an idea.
Yeah.
Let's get a bucket of pennies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave and just everybody.
We'll just
all your
surround
pennies.
our cars
Put
every
a
time.
bucket of pennies out on the curb.
Yeah.
That when people are looking for copper, they
Yes,
just grab
they
that. They
just
can melt
grab
it
it.
down and.
But you don't leave them in a stack. You go and scatter them
Scatter
because
them
it
out.
takes forever to pick up pennies off a sidewalk.
This might sound really dumb, but
and then
I
they
don't
could
even
get
care.
arrested.
Is a penny? Is that like 100% copper?
Oh, dude, I'm joking.
Okay, because
No,
I
it's
was
not.
sitting there going, "Wait a second, if I missed the boat on this,
Why is it only worth 1 cent?
I'm like, wait, it's copper? You totally got me. I seriously thought, like, my whole life, like, I didn't know. I was like, copper, what? I don't understand. Or
Here's what's
maybe
funny
there's a
to
little
me.
bit of a percentage of copper in it.
I heard that quarters have a little bit of nickel in them.
Is that true?
Isn't that funny? Quarters have nickel? Isn't that a money? Isn't that a metal?
Are you making fun of me? I hate you.
Speaking of making fun of people, remember the Stormy chimed in and sent me a screenshot of a text because they meant to text the live line. There are laws in New Mexico. You cannot leave your child alone until they are 11 years old. And then the person that they accidentally sent it to said, well, I don't have a kid, so that doesn't apply to me.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, my
That's
gosh.
so good.
They were one number off
Accidental
of the
text.
live line.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's really funny.
Dude, David's in Maui right now. David, gosh.
Are you
can I
getting
come
hit
live
by
with you?
rain right now, David?
Yeah, he says winds are starting to get strong.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because Maui hadn't been hit yet. It'd be later. I heard that's what I heard in the weather. I could be wrong. But, like, I'm not there. I'm in Albuquerque.
Remember the Stormy says,
Keeping an eye on my
I need
car.
to give Hawaii a chance. You might grow to lava it.
Lava.
Yes.
I love you.
Yeah, copper pennies stopped being made in 1982, by the way. Thank you, Lauren, for that one. Yeah, I think I'm hilarious.
There's so many smart Starmy people.
Yeah.
They should be hosting the show.
Yeah, for real.
Or at least the week.
It is the
weekly guest.
education band, so
Ooh,
yeah.
copper right now?
Education band. The education band, they're the ones that play Schoolhouse Rock, right?
Yes.
Education band.
Yes, that is the education band.
And now, live from the Omni, Education Band.
So copper right now.
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
We're looking at $1.75 per pound for some copper.
Uh-huh.
A pound?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a whole lot. So wait, I Googled it this morning. My catalytic converter, they said they could get about what? What did it say?
600.
Like $600 for that thing?
Yeah, that's worth more than your car. You should have cut it out
Why
and
didn't I
gotten
cut
a
it
new
out?
car.
What the heck?
So is your car getting a new catalytic converter? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
bro, she's getting a new one.
No, she is not. I
Woo!
am convincing him right now to just put her out to pasture. It's not even worth the price of the catalytic converter. Just don't, man. I wish you had known that piece of metal was worth more than your car.
I think the
beforehand.
surgery was this morning, so
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I think I missed the boat on letting them
Wow.
know. Like, what do you do if the mechanic calls you and then you don't tell them right away that you don't have the money?
Did you give him the thumbs up to do it?
Maybe.
Oh my!
Does that mean I can't get my car?
You didn't? Did you ask ahead of time for the amount?
Sam, I'm gonna need to borrow some money.
Okay. Just remember, I'm a youth pastor.
Yeah.
I just need $10,000.
Stephanie
I
just
have
tried
a
to say-
bucket of pennies I can give you.
Dex, you don't have a mortgage
But I'm gonna
or
spill
a
'em on the
car
driveway.
payment.
Shut your faces! You don't know.
Buy a car, bro.
You don't know me.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'm in the process, guys. We'll see what happens. I just need you to co-sign for me. Sam.
Yeah.
You could
So-
co-sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam will do it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I can.
Okay.
I have learned how to forge Steve's name, Steve-O's name, so I'll sign for you.
There you go.
505
Steve-O Jeter.
Yeah.
3 Steve-O Cheater.
Yeah. Sherman T. Potter.
You wanted to get to some text messages on the live line. I
Oh,
know.
there were so many this morning, but we already moved on from the subject, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm good.
But thanks for chiming in.
Yeah.
We read some of them.
Yeah, we did.
Guys, there's a hot new way to relax.
SL 97, come in.
Negative. Could you give me code 61435, Del Amo, please?
What is happening right now?
You're
Okay,
ruining
sorry.
my
61435,
relaxation.
Del Amo.
Apparently, the hot new way to relax is listening to the police scanner over music.
32 South on a traffic stop on Crenshaw south of 63. Lincoln, Adam, David, Ida, David.
I actually kind of like this.
It sounds like the new Radiohead single.
It
Like, what are you
does.
talking about?
It sounds awesome.
No, it does not.
I actually kind of liked it. My eyes are a little heavy.
Okay, I need to know how or why or where this comes from.
There's a website called youarelistening.to that lets you pick a music track a city's police radio and mash them up.
Wait, really?
Let's go there, guys.
Let's find Albuquerque.
Find Albuquerque.
Let's
yes.
go there. All right.
Oh, Albuquerque's not on the list.
Okay.
We didn't make the list.
Well, we go to Denver. It's close.
Ours should have made the list. Our police are very busy.
Very busy.
I'm going to Denver.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
do you get to choose the music and stuff too?
Good question.
Moved along and advised in service.
Okay, but what do we?
Great, thank you. 949.
Does it do that for
and then,
me?
And then like over here, like no, like Detroit Rain.
Okay, let's do that one.
Oh. That's right. This is the worst. This is literally
It's
just,
just the
rain
rain.
in Detroit. Sorry. I apologize.
It sounds different than rain in Albuquerque. I don't know.
Build your own.
Oh, build your own.
Yeah, you have to build your own, bro. You have to go to the build your own page.
All right, let's see here.
You are what you listen to.
I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on this. It's not working. So
We gotta look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. Anyways,
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, apparently you want to relax. A lot of people are listening to the police scanner over music, which this one is some ambient
97.5 SL 97 come in.
sounds.
Yeah, this isn't.
Negative. Could you give me code 61435?
It's kind of hypnotic.
This isn't giving
Del Amo, please.
my friend Christian chill vibes, bro.
No?
As an officer of the law, like the scanner was making him nervous because they were throwing out some codes that meant some really horrible things.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so I don't think this is like
Well, if you're a police
for
officer,
everyone. This isn't the best way to relax.
Yeah. If you're a
Wait, you know
law
what?
enforcement officer
or Spider-Man.
or Spider-Man,
Because then you're like
Your
freaking out
spider
because you're
sense.
used to like tracking the police scanner for like crimes.
a 332.
but
Did
you
they
might
say
get a
332?
churro out of it.
Yes.
Some lady might give you a churro if
Yes!
you return her lunch.
What is a 332?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you could Google that one.
Police code
332.
332.
That's they have to go to the bathroom.
There's no such thing.
Okay. All right.
Roger that.
Yeah.
332.
I know 311 is indecent exposure.
A what? A
311?
311?
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
what-
is that why?
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh wait, 332. That is a real thing.
332. We got a 332.
Gosh, now you're gonna make me do homework. It's other fires.
Okay.
Well, that's boring.
Oh.
Guys, we've got other fires happening.
There's not just one.
We got a 210.
Hold on.
We got a 210.
No,
over.
dude, that's serious shots fired.
Oh,
you
Yeah,
idiot.
don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
That's a priority 2, man. Stop. Gosh, stop saying bad things. I've got some priority codes and stuff.
We got a 303. 303.
303 is a bomb threat.
Whoa!
Wow. That's a code. That's a priority. Wait, that's a priority 3? Come on, man. That's not even a.
What's a priority 7?
Found stolen property. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
That's a 353.
Okay. What's priority
That's
1?
so much paperwork.
What's a priority 1?
Priority 1, 101 or a 106 would be an armed holdup in progress or an armed offender incident in progress.
Oh.
Yeah,
That must be like
that
active shooter.
Yeah, that's priority 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So-
would be. That's
But a
good. That's
bomb
good to
threat
have as a priority 1.
Is a priority 3?
I mean,
Okay.
yeah. So, a member of the Starmy who is an officer says, I'm an officer. I relax to it every night.
Wow.
Yeah, that probably put me to sleep.
You know what? Actually, if you think about it, maybe it's relaxing to him because he's not on duty and he doesn't have to respond to that stuff.
Right?
Maybe.
Or she. We don't know if
Yeah.
it's a female officer.
Yeah.
Or not.
By the way, departments can have their own unique code, so a simple
true,
Google
too.
search doesn't give you accurate information for the jurisdiction.
Ah.
So, yeah, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
10-10, 10-8.
We got a 2319.
2319.
We got a 449692.
Oh, Sarah just said that on YouTube, too. That's the first thing I thought of. 2319. What is that from?
That's from Adam 12, dude.
No.
I got it.
Sam?
Beverly
I
Hills
know.
Cop.
No, Sam?
Monsters
Monsters, Inc.
Incorporated.
Monsters, Inc.
Oh, okay.
2319.
That's the safety thing when they find the child.
Oddly enough, that's why Dex doesn't have any hair.
Oh.
They had to shave him.
Shave him and
We had a 2319.
remove a sock from his back.
Yes.
Oh,
That's real
thanks,
funny.
guys.
That's real funny.
Thanks, guys.
So aggressive.
2319.
2319.
Oh, man.
Get on the ground.
By the way, the different priorities mean different things. Priority 3 means no lights and sirens. Priority 2, lights only, no intersection crossing.
Gosh.
Priority 1, lights, sirens, no restrictions. You get there, dog.
Go. Got it.
Okay, wow. That's really interesting.
Guys, I'm signing up to be a cop.
Yeah?
I think I can do this.
1 Adam 12. 1 Adam 12. See the man. I used to watch that TV show.
1 Adam 12. Yeah, I'm going to have to go, change the police.
1
code
Adam 12
thing.
is that's the call letters for back in those days. That's how the police would be called in L.A. Adam whatever. Adam 14, Adam 12, Adam.
Also, fun fact, that was the name of my first co-host here in Albuquerque on the radio.
1 Adam 12?
Adam 12.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Rest in peace, dude.
That was a great show.
He's actually still alive.
I'm talking about the TV show. I never heard your radio show.
Yeah, I never heard
But I'm sure it was a great show, too, after I've gotten to know you.
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of great shows, we're done.
We out of here.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's over, man.
Oh, my.
By the way, little known fact, 2319 means white sock because they said we've got a WS 2319. WS could have been Wazowski Sullivan or White Sock. I love Pixar.
Yeah.
I love Pixar.
2319.
White Sock.
Watch out for the children.
Yeah.
Guys, we had a huge show today. If you missed any of it, we're on demand. You guys can go back and listen to all the shows this week. iTunes, Google Play. You can go to star88.fm and get us on demand. Also, YouTube and Facebook, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you guys so much. Thanks for calling in. Some amazing callers this week. So thank you for the encouragement and the love. We really do appreciate it. Sam, we love you, dude.
Love you guys.
Good to see you, man.
It was good to be back this week. Sorry, I apologize for bailing out on you.
Whatever.
Stop it, man.
You're doing the Lord's work, man.
See ya.
We're just dumb.
At the concert.
That's
Tuesday
right,
night.
Tuesday.
First
First
Baptist
Baptist.
Rancho,
Looking
7 o'clock.
Star88.fm/events. Find out more details on that.
Yeah.
We're going to post that.
I'll give them to Heidi.
Free event Tuesday night. Go watch Sam sing.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you.
Love y'all.
That's all we got. There ain't no more. That's right. Time is tight. It's the end of the show.
Hi, it's Dex. We want you to share your star story. How has Star 88 and the Morning Invasion impacted your life?
Hey, so I used to listen to you guys when I was in prison every single morning from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. and it changed my life.